Welcome into the midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Happy game day.
Game day.
We finally made it here. It is game day here in Philadelphia. There will be a banner that we get to see tonight. The second Super Bowl title celebrated. And then the journey to try to get number 3 begins against the Cowboys today. We've got a fun game for you to play with the Primo's gift card giveaway that we'll get to in honor of how long it's been since the Cowboys did anything relevant in the National Football League. But let's focus on this game here tonight and get you into the here and now, because for the next 4 hours, it's Eagles, it's Cowboys, and maybe a little bit about how Aaron Nola can't be in the postseason rotation, but mostly Eagles and Cowboys
Except
for the next 4
innings
hours.
2 through 5.
Yes, there will be an opener. No, we'll get to the baseball talk at some point.
Football.
But the Birds to start this one out. I've been talking for the last few weeks about just please get me to the season. Get me the season. Fired up for today. A lot on the table. We will have Todd Archer of ESPN covers the Cowboys coming up at 10:55. At 12:55, we'll have Olivia Reiner from the Philadelphia Inquirer covers the Eagles to break down everything going on with the Birds. We'll have John Price to give us some picks for the weekend. A lot coming your way over the next 4 hours, but I want to start it right here. Is it wrong to be worried? I think they're going to win this football game. I believe they're going to win this football game.
Thank you. I needed that a little bit more fervently.
I believe they're going to win this football game. When you look at these two teams on paper, when we get to the end of this season, something would have had to go on catastrophically wrong to be looking up at the Cowboys in the standings.
Yes.
We will be talking about massive, massive issues if that's the case. So it's not so much that I think the Cowboys are at all on par with this Eagles team and are on par with the season they're going to have. But I was listening this morning to Kincade and Salciunas, and I heard John say, and this is I wrote it down because it was in the outset of their show, if you're concerned about the Eagles handling the Cowboys tonight, then you don't believe in this team. And it's not that I don't believe in this team. The only thing that I have concerns tonight, it's not so much real-life problems for this team. It's not real-life matchups for this team that I actually feel like are going to be exploited, and we're going to learn that this team isn't who we think they are. I just think it's an, again, early season matchup. It's the first game of the season. There are growing pains for a team, and that would be the reason why I could see this being a game tonight. Because I think these two teams, you put them out on the field 6 weeks from now, I think that we know clearly who the better team is out there right now.
Probably less than that by about 3 weeks. But is it because of how they started last year? Because aside from the defense we've discussed, there's some holes on defense. They had their most departures. On the offense, there's really no changes aside from, obviously, Mekhi Becton being gone and Kevin Patullo. So why do you think that they're going to have like a little bit of rust? Just no football?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just natural for a new play caller, first time with his offense, first time to get this quarterback in this new. Listen, I would love it. I watched last night that America's game, and
yes, very good.
That Commanders NFC Championship game where they pitch it to Saquon, and Saquon takes it to the house, and it's just like, all right, right off the bat, you feel like, okay, this offense is going to be great, and this is going to happen. The way they respond to that long Commanders drive, like if that's the way everything starts today, we'll be dancing, we'll be partying. Tomorrow we're going to show up here, it'll be a party for 4 hours. But I'm curious for people for those that do find concern in tonight, for those that do find themselves, actually break it down. Because, listen, it's game day. Whether or not right now you have concerns about the game, by the time 8:20 starts, it's going to be all go Birds.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you're going to be ready to fight the TV at first sight of the Cowboy star, and you're going to be like, there's no way they're
Jerry
losing
Jones,
tonight.
You'll boo.
Right. So it's not so much that I think there's people in this town picking against them. But I think for people that have concern, is it just the first game jitters for you, or is it real life actual problems for this team that concern you for tonight? Because it's not real team building problems. It's not real roster problems for me for this team tonight. It's more, I haven't seen it yet, and I know where I'd be concerned about this team. Can tonight be a night that's exploited, or tonight be a night where they're just not ready to go to that level, and that be what gets them tonight? I'm curious for people, if you find yourself concerned, if you think it's more of a first game jitters, or if it is more of actual problems you see with this team that could linger throughout the season. And I want to get people's opinion on that at 610-632-0975, because I'm very interested for those that find concern leading into tonight. Because, again, we do this show at 10 o'clock. I can assure you when I do pregame later with Connor Thomas, the people listening in the 7 o'clock hour, Maybe they've had a couple at that point.
Beverages.
Leading up to it, getting ready
Currently
to go,
having
and they're like, or
There's some people that are currently having the beverages.
and that's awesome. I've seen the videos already from down there.
Good stuff.
People were already lined up yesterday. You were ready to go. And for those of you out there that were ready to go, my hat tip to you.
Good luck.
Fantastic.
Godspeed,
If
everyone.
honestly, love to be a part of that right now. I would love to be down there just trying to get the whole day going and just get fired up with you. But I'm curious for the people right now that look at this game and have questions about that game, if it's really just like me, where it's the first game, you just kind of want to see it play out the way you expect it to play out. Or if you sit there and have real-life problems. Because I'll give you two things tonight that I'm looking for when it comes to Eagles-Cowboys that I think we all should keep our eye on. The first is the obvious one, and it's that second corner spot versus the Cowboys' passing offense. Dak Prescott, healthy. Pickens in the mix at this point. I'm a bigger fan of Jake Ferguson. I mean, it's a Cowboys tight end. I heard them making the joke today on the morning show. Cowboys tight end just is always going to burn you no matter what the year is, no matter what time it is. That, to me, what you see from the secondary, I mentioned earlier this week, I want to see one more person emerge in that secondary. I like what you have in Mitchell, in DeJean, Reed Blankenship. All right, fine with it, even though I don't know necessarily if I love him as the lead safety for a defensive tandem. Obviously, he's a captain. He's accomplished plenty so far playing at this or in this organization, but I don't know if I love him as the most talented safety in that group. But I'm happy to see him prove me wrong over the next season. But I'd love to see one of that outside corner, that second safety emerge to make me feel more comfortable. I think tonight's a good first step in that place. So that passing attack against the secondary where I see two holes right now, that would be the one concern. The other one, interior of that defensive line, the health of Dickerson combined with the first start for Steen. Not that I think they're going to be disastrously bad, but that would be one place where I could see, okay, if you're the Cowboys, is that somewhere where you can exploit what the Eagles have?
Are you more concerned? I'm surprised so your first thought was the secondary.
Right.
Rightfully so. I think a lot of people are going to have concerns there just because of how we saw in the preseason those guys were targeted. And the fact that George Pickens is a perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb and what Dak Prescott could do. He's a classic X-receiver, right? He's just a go route guy, just going to go. Sometimes he's averse to catching, which is problematic for the
Nearly
Cowboys.
got into a fight with a guy at Buccaneers Stadium over that. Guy wearing a Pickens jersey the day after he had all those drops. I was like, tough day to be rocking that. And he was not happy about my joke.
Catch the ball. But I'm surprised your second go-to was the interior offensive line and not a pass rush.
The pass, I guess the pass rush works in tandem to the way you're going up against that passing offense for the team.
Sure.
I think just looking at from both sides of the football, the way I would go over there, offensively, most of your concern with the Eagles, I think, would lie within, hey, this is the first game. Do you expect any hiccups in operation for them? Because when you look at the talent of that offense, the only place where I can really look at the Cowboys and say, what do they have? Maybe in the interior, Clark with the first game of the Cowboys against, the first true start of the Tyler Steen era. Whatever the health is of Dickerson. I know Eberflus isn't necessarily going to try and attack you like crazy in terms of stunts, blitzing, and all that stuff, but maybe he tries to dial something up the middle. And that always could be disruptive, one, to a running game, disruptive to a passing game. Now, this is a bad run defense. They like to claim they got better by getting rid of Micah Parsons. No defense gets better by getting rid of its best player.
Ever.
So it's not necessarily a concern for me. But that's the two things that I can lay out there and say, okay, maybe there's a realistic chance that something could concern me with this Cowboys matchup. I think they're going to win, and I'm curious for you out there at 610-632-0975. Would concerns for you be more first-game jitters or real-life problems for this team? Because I lay on the side of this is just the first game. I want to see it play out on the field in front of me.
Yeah, I think the passing defense as a whole is definitely – it's still a real-world concern as far as if you want to fall a line with one of those. But I don't know that it's a real-world concern enough that it's going to, sway me more than it does of just hey, a little rusty, first game, just happens all the time. It happens for everybody, Super Bowl champions or otherwise. Everyone has that first moment. And I would think if you're the Cowboys, you're absolutely going to come out guns blazing, sorry for the pun, as far as you're going to attack that secondary. You're going to attack Adoree Jackson. You're going to go ahead and attack any aspect of it, especially, coming against the pass, because of the way that you think that you're going to be able to match up. And you would have why not send George Pickens out there? That's what you would. Yeah. That's what I would do.
That's exactly what I would do. All right, coming up here, Sean Robbins producing the show. Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Sean.
Hello.
All right, so today we're playing a game. The game is called Remember 1995. Today begins the 30-year anniversary of the last Cowboys Super Bowl. It's Eagles-Cowboys. For those of you out there that remember 1995, you have an inherent advantage. Intentionally, we are having the producer who was not alive in 1995 play against you in the game Remember 1995. If you call in and get a question right, give us, of course, your Eagles-Cowboys thoughts for today. But if you get a question right, you will be entered for our $50 Primo's gift card. Want those Primo hoagies for a big potential Super Bowl or Sunday party for you? $50 Primo gift card. You're entered to win in our game Remember 1995. We'll have questions, pop culture, sports in 1995. We got songs, movies, the whole thing. It'll be you versus Sean Rodman. Sean Rodman, do you remember 1995?
No.
Well,
Wasn't alive.
maybe our audience will. Cowboys fans might.
They might. They
It's 3
should.
decades.
You'd hope.
The game is Remember 1995. You can get in 610-632-0975. Coming up, talk about that offense. First game for Kevin Patullo. We had Torrey Smith on yesterday. He had some thoughts on what it's like to be an offensive coordinator with all these weapons. We'll play that for you coming up. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Take it through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced
Well,
through
it
the
depends
air.
on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game just how potent that offense can be. they put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more?
Plays are the plays, right? You know what you're doing. It's about going out there and executing it. So it's not like they have to reinvent the wheel. They know what they do well, and they're going to have opportunities, and they have the athletes to go out there and simply get it done. This team is very easy to be an offensive coordinator when you have a stable quarterback, two of the best receivers in the league, the best running back in the league, and a defense that has your back. I mean, it makes an offensive coordinator's job easy. So I'm not trying to say that coach doesn't have to work hard or he's in a situation where, hey, it's all on the players, but the reality of it is his job is a lot easier because the deficiencies are a lot lower than most teams.
That was Torrey Smith on with us yesterday here on the Midday Show alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn taking you through the Midday Show today. Game day, Eagles, Cowboys finally here. And
Game day.
Torrey Smith right there talking about, it was a great question you asked him about Kevin Patullo and just what it takes to go to another new signal caller. It's a rite of passage for Jalen Hurts at this point every year.
He would be confused. He's going to be confused next year when Kevin Patullo is back.
Oh,
He'll be
hey.
like, whoa.
Listen, if they go make a run,
You never know.
there's always a team looking for a head coach.
If it's Kevin Patullo again, I think he should do maybe a disguise.
Yeah.
Maybe just come in like a random mustache.
This is Evan
Yes.
Patullo.
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 Make it like an anagram. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But for Torrey Smith, what he was saying there is basically Kevin Patullo, this offense, what you have, you know the talent there. You know what you have in terms of the offensive game plan you had a year ago. This is, as he said, an easy job for you to take, an easy job for you to step into the role. He's not trying to downplay the difficulty of being an offensive coordinator in this league, but the barriers to your success are much lower than other offensive coordinators around the NFL. And it was interesting because yesterday we had a couple callers that pointed out Patullo as like, hey, this is something I'm looking at. And maybe for me, I tried to reflect on this yesterday. I was like, yeah, during the offseason, it was something we talked about because it was reminiscent for a lot of people of, okay, you went from Steichen in 2022 to the internal hire of Brian Johnson in 2023. Nothing really clicked for that offense, even though it ended up top 10 numbers-wise. Nothing really clicked for you in that year. It never looked like they got into a rhythm offensively. And the callers yesterday point out that issue and point out the time that happened 2 years prior.
Right.
I started thinking, okay, have I stopped worrying about that because I feel comfortable in everything? Or for me in this game, I don't think I'm necessarily worried about it because I look at this Cowboys defense and it just doesn't scare you. Like, it really doesn't scare me at all. Like, the secondary health being a concern, that's there. I don't necessarily think what they have in their front seven is bothersome to me. They've got some young pass rushers that I think they're going to be interested to get a look at in the big picture over the season. But going in week one, when we talk about there's a lot of guys on the Eagles side that have to step up and step into new roles. For this Cowboys defense, they have to improve after being one of the worst, really. And I don't think that happens right off the jump.
Well, the way that when they lost Micah Parsons, you mentioned it earlier, their run defense has never been good. Has not been good in years at this point.
They've deluded themselves into thinking it got better.
That's the thing. It did not get better because they've Micah Parsons wasn't great against the run. Micah Parsons is a great player. He's great against everything. I get that he's definitely more as far as coming off the edge and trying to get to the quarterback, and he's helpful in the passing game. He's helpful everywhere because he makes your defense as a whole better. He is now gone, and you have not replaced him. I don't care what they say, 3-time Pro Bowl, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's not.
30.
Exactly.
They went with the Commanders.
Yeah,
plan
exactly.
Here. The reverse DiCaprio. We want to get older.
And a little bit worse. So, for me, their defense, though, I think that it has merit in certain aspects. I think that they do have a decent front. There are some pieces in the secondary. But as a whole, you don't look at their defense. And this is obviously a work in progress.
Right.
I mean, the Micah Parsons things, he was never practicing. So they were still piecemealing it out there the entire training camp. And then they had to piecemeal it even more. So I don't know. I don't want to say I think it's going to be like a 55-3 type of vibe.
No.
But I don't see why the Eagles shouldn't be able to move the ball in any which way they'd like to do.
And again, that goes back to the Patullo thing. Like, there is probably, and back to our original question, whether it's first game jitters for you or it's real
Yeah.
life problems for this team you're worried about tonight. There are legitimate, like, big picture, season long concerns for you. Patullo, if you want to be concerned about you, I would understand your concern about it. If you want to be concerned about their ability to rush the passer, that's something that you can be concerned about. Concerned about their secondary, something you can be concerned about. All those things. But to me, even with those concerns, if this game was played week 6 between these two teams, I'd be like, yeah, I think the Eagles are going to be able to, like, the Eagles are going to cover. Like, that's kind of the bar here. I expect them to win tonight. If it was later in the season, I'd be like, yeah, this is a cover. They're just that much better than this team. Early on in the season, the reason why I think they could keep it close is because you're just sitting in that first game of the year still trying to figure things out on your side. And so are they.
Yeah, and there's still tightness. There's tightness on both sides, and not just with the way that you're going to call the game, the way the players approach it. I mean, obviously everybody's excited. They're finally getting out on the field. There's always going to be that little initial, like, tightness. I imagine the second half will look a lot better than the first half.
Yeah, and one would hope in that regard. So to me, I don't necessarily have a lot of thought towards the offensive coordinator change in Patullo for this game specifically because I look at that Cowboys defense. I'm like, if there's any defense to get your feet wet against as an offensive coordinator, it's probably this one right now. They're banged up in their secondary. Even with a healthy secondary, I would feel good about these pass catchers against that defense. And offensively, I mean, they had terrible run defense, and you still got 2-6 back there, fresh off an offseason. Like that's pretty good for you. So we're playing, and I see our leadoff hitter is going to be up next to get us started in our game today. Remember 1995. It is the 30-year anniversary of the Cowboys' last Super Bowl. What was once America's team has eroded into just America's joke, and today we'll capitalize on that joke. Playing Remember 1995. You answer the question from 1995, whether it be pop culture, sports, whatever we got for you, and we'll have Sean Rodman go against the audience today, a man who has never been alive to see the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. It's a $50 gift card to Primo's, and we can get you the opportunity to get Primo hoagies. You got to kick your season off right with them today. Every Thursday this football season from 4 o'clock to 8, all Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. See primohoagies.com for full details. Coming up next, we talked about the offense here. Let's flip sides to the defense. Vic Fangio thinks we've overplayed the slow start from last year as it relates to this year. Have we? We'll get into it. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's game day, Philadelphia. I'm Sean Rodman, and Eagles-Cowboys for the season opener is finally here. The banner will be revealed prior to tonight's game, and only one player has been ruled out for the Birds, and that is Tanner McKee. He did not practice this week as he recovers from a fractured thumb injury on his throwing hand. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice earlier in the week, does not have an injury designation and is ready to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report this week, and all will play as well. SEPTA has announced the normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run when you leave the game, thanks to a deal with FanDuel. It starts at halftime. That includes the local and express lanes and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phils fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. The Phillies look to win the series today, though, against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phils and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief, so you can keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game, is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in, right? And the proof is in the pudding, right? The way that he's been able to lead his team, there are very few coaches in the history of the game.
The idea that this defense could get off to a slow start after the slow start it got off to last season. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking through the midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. So you hear Fangio say that. And we've talked about some of the holes we think this team has defensively, what you're looking from the pass rush, what you're looking at in that secondary. I think we've all really calmed ourselves over the linebacker next to Zach Bond, given the way people watched John Campbell play in the preseason.
Big fan.
And
you asked me about X Factor.
He is your X Factor. You did say that yesterday. He is your X Factor. So the linebacker position, I think we've calmed down in terms of concern. But looking at that defense, have we overplayed this storyline, like Fangio says?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to say. I mean, the thing I like about Vic Fangio is the fact that he tells it exactly like it is for him, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the flowery coach speak. It comes from a place he's like, listen, this is what I think. And I think that it all started, it started obviously last year, but throughout the season, he's never changed. So in the offseason and certainly in training camp, when he says stuff like we just heard, and I was obviously leading up to the game in practice this week, so it's a little bit more focused. I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I'm like, are you saying that for our benefit, or are you saying that for your team's benefit? Because I feel like sometimes you need to say stuff out there just so they.
This might have been flowery coach speak.
Which is that's what
this
I mean.
might have been the first time we've heard Fangio give us a little.
Because I heard it and I was just like, Usually he doesn't say that. So I thought, are you saying that for your players? Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to get that message out there. And I'm not to say that he doesn't believe it, but I was like, oh, you don't usually hear you talk about things like, oh, don't worry. Like, he just gives it like it is. And in his opinion, he doesn't think that it is a concern or something. Maybe it is a little overblown. I was like, are you giving it? I felt like it was more like he was talking to his players, which I don't usually feel that way.
And here's the other side of that. He might be giving us a little bit of coach speak in terms of we should calm down. But
Yes.
I think also inside those four walls, it's not acceptable to Fangio for you to stumble out the first 4 weeks and figure it out. And I think that's also another point of this where he's like, yeah, we have guys that need to step up, but that's how it works in the NFL. Like, it's not okay for us to have the start that we had in Green Bay last year. It's not okay for us to have the letdown that we had at the end of the Falcons game last year. It's certainly not okay for what happened to the Buccaneers game last year to happen to us again. Like, I remember having those shows, having those conversations, following those games. Like, what is this defense going to be? What do they have here? And obviously they turned it up and they put together one of the most dominant defenses we've seen and one of the more dominant teams we've seen in the biggest moments last year. So to me, I don't think we've overplayed this, and I think that his wording there of overplayed plays more into talking in that locker room and saying, yeah, the people outside might be saying that we're going to get off to a slow start. If we do, they might be calm, but don't expect our meetings on Monday morning to be fun. Like, don't expect us to be sitting there like,
you a do-over.
Right. The expectation is we're going to pick up where we left off. That's a ridiculously high expectation, but that's what it is.
That's how Vic Fangio operates, though, which I appreciate.
And to me, I don't think that we have overplayed that slow start because of, again, what the secondary looks like against this passing offense. One of the things that I think tonight will be interesting and why tonight I think could be closer than a lot of us want it to be. I got a text from Dylan McKinnon. You sound scared. Here's a picture of a dog. Very cute dog it was that he sent me a picture
adorable.
of. But I'm not scared of losing the Cowboys. I don't think you're losing the Cowboys. I just think it's a closer game than I see like the 42-17s on my timeline. I see the like 35-10s. Like, I hope they crush them like that. I hope that it's a double-digit dancing. I hope by the second half I'm like, all right, show sheet's done. We're good. Let's enjoy the night.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, let's talk to you at 10 a.m. But I think one of the reasons it could be closer is because if they are able to exploit that secondary early, that gives them the ability to hang around late. If the Eagles control it from the jump with the physicality and they're able to get the run game going against this running defense for the Cowboys, I think you could end up running away with this thing. But I don't know necessarily if the deficiencies for the Eagles defense matching up with the Cowboys offensive strength is one that makes me think this is going to be over quickly and we're going to be talking about a blowout tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be over quickly, but I do think that they pull away. I do see a double-digit win, but I hear you in the fact that there's always that feeling out process too with the first game, and that's because yes, you want to win the game, and it is a short season when it comes to certain aspects, but it is a long season, so it is about the long game. It is about making sure everything gets in rhythm. Everything gets going the way it should, and that takes time. There's obviously going to be the first couple of series. They're probably going to have, maybe you have to go for it on fourth down. You're going to have hopefully a sustained drive.
Right.
You don't want to have the quick 3 and out. Obviously, that's
or the first play to Saquon, he just takes the house.
And just there you go. Just call it a day. And the defense weren't we just there? Yeah. Let's go back out. You're fine now.
You're fine.
You're fine.
It's a lead. You have a lead.
Okay?
Go take advantage.
Figure that out. So I do think there'll be the filling out period as far as a little slow out of the gates. Not. I mean, if I was either side, I would absolutely just try to put the hammer to him. That's just me, though.
That's fair.
I would just go route. Just go.
AJ
Brown.
If you were the Cowboys, I would also try the go route.
I would absolutely
to start this one to get this one going. I mean, that's where I go with
Both
that
sides.
one. So you throw the dagger. We're gonna get to that later. I did watch America's game.
There you go. See, throw the dagger.
Especially after that Aaron Nolan start. But I want to get to the phones here because we talked about Kevin Patullo and our good buddy Dr. Matt Elf wanted to jump in on the Patullo conversation. Greg at Bethlehem, what's up? How are you today?
Morning, guys. I don't have any doubt the Eagles are going to win tonight. I think it might be closer than people think. But, all of the OCs have their play cards. Down and distance, 2-minute, 4-minute. There's a certain rhythm to the game that you can't. It's not. You can't read off the play sheet. You gotta have a feeling for it. When to go for the splash play, when to be conservative. I'm assuming Sirianni is going to probably try to massage that a little bit, just so they are on the same page. But that's my biggest concern is, obviously he knows the play sheet inside and out, Patullo does, but, it's a matter of feeling the rhythm of the game and making it work.
Right. I mean, the
as the
offensive
game goes
coordinator
on.
needs a feel to what's happening out there, and he needs to adjust to it. And that's something that I think we're going to see, over not just over this week, but I think over the first month, that's going to be a big storyline for a lot of people on how Patullo adjusts to what he sees in front of him. And, I think we're all naive if we don't believe that Sirianni is going to have a heavy hand in input of what's going to happen. I mean, I think in game, I think that's especially the adjustment off the jump. I think that'll be there.
100% agree.
All right. Very good.
Go Birds,
Okay.
Greg. Have yourself a day. I never know. Sometimes I always think he's going to have that second part for us.
You never know. Sometimes he has a follow-up.
All right, so today we're going to play this game, remember 1995. But I'm going to turn this one to the text line. All right? So 610-632-0975. We're going to ask the question on the text line. The first texter that Sean Rodman sees correct on the question will get themselves entered to win the Primos gift card. Every segment, I'm going to throw a different question at you from 1995, and we'll get the texter's answer. All right? So, Rodman,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you the same question I'm asking the audience.
All right.
So, for the audience, we're going to give them 10 seconds here to respond to the question before we get your answer for it. So don't
You
shoot on
want
your
my
phone.
answer now or on the other side of the break?
No. Before it'll be, let me read it. Two of us will discuss this question, and then we'll get the texters' responses. We'll see if you get it. All right? So the first question. In 1995, the top Billboard hit was from Coolio, saying that he lived in this. Please. People out there, 1995 Billboard top hit from Coolio. What was the name of that song? All right? Go to the text line right now, 610-632-0975.
I can literally sing this song in my head right now.
My uncle, this is his go-to karaoke.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Wow.
610-632-0975. The Coolio song that topped the Billboard in 1995. Before we go to break, Sean Rodman, what is that song?
I know I should know this, and I'm really disappointed in myself right now.
I'm disappointed.
But you can give whoever texted it in is going to be correct.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, 0 for 1 here for Rodman.
Yep. Poor start.
We'll get you that answer on the other side. She's Amy Padula. I'm Ray Dunn. Coming up, we'll get to that older generation that remembers 1995. What's it going to mean tonight for them to see the banner be unveiled against the Dallas Cowboys?
People that grew up watching the Cowboys win everything.
What's it going to mean to you tonight? We'd love to hear from you at 610-632-0975. We'll be right back here on the Midday Show.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
you think they're going to be teams that studied what the Chiefs did.
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through
Well, it
the
depends
air.
on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
I mean, no one deserves victory, the feeling of watching that banner drop more than the folks in Philadelphia. So I don't think you can ever take it lightly, because literally, as plenty of folks listening to this call, families may know, you may not see it in your lifetime. So it's really cool to know that people are going to experience that. The tears are going to fall. And honestly, I'm not afraid to say it. Some folks are going to be a little spoiled here. The younger generation is going to be very spoiled with what the Eagles have been able to do. And that's a beautiful thing.
Torrey Smith talking to us yesterday here on the Midday Show alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Coming up, Todd Archer, who covers the Cowboys for ESPN, will join us in the next segment to talk about Eagles-Cowboys tonight. But you heard Torrey Smith say there, younger generation a little spoiled. Be grateful for what you're going to watch happen today. See that banner come down at Lincoln Financial Field. And I think a lot of people are grateful and will enjoy that here tonight. But I'm so interested for the older generation, what it means to them to watch that banner be dropped and then get a chance to kick the crap out of the Cowboys.
I think it's twofold. Obviously, seeing, because there's people, and you and I both know people, like we're related to people like this. They never thought they'd ever see a single, and so they were so ecstatic after the first one, and then when they went in 2022 and lost, and then when they went and won, it was like, oh, is this something that we should? Is this something that we could? Yeah, it should expect. It was such a turn of events for their kind of like fandom and feeling and how they kind of approached each Eagles season. It was just like, I never thought I'd see the day. I can't tell you how many people I'd run into. I can 50, 67 year. I'd never thought I'd see the day. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I get it. They had lived their entire life and never seen it. So I think for a certain age, if you had lived 50 years before you saw your first one, I think it's that much sweeter because you came up when everyone else was winning them, when the Giants won them, when the Redskins at the time, now Commanders, won them, when the Cowboys won them, the team of the 90s. I think that makes it so much sweeter, period. But then raising the banner and showing the banner against the Cowboys and seeing those stupid stars on that helmet, and they have to look up and watch.
I mean,
appreciate
it's beautiful.
CeeDee Lamb is going to be out there watching. I appreciate that. Good for you. You want to see what that's like, then experience it.
Yeah, and that's the only time you probably will. So it's good for him to see it.
Correct.
But I just think like my dad, my grandfather, like the people that raised me to despise the Cowboys as much as I do, like for them tonight to have lived through the Cowboys' glory days, to have really seen it play out in real time, how awesome that's going to be tonight. I'm just so excited for my dad and for my grandfather and for, my uncle, like all that, like that. the older people in my family that lived through watching it. I think, my dad also went to college up in New England. He went to Bryant up in Rhode Island. So, like, he also lived through all of his college buddies, like, that were Patriots fans up there, the early 2000s, and when they lost them then, and, like, the fact that he got to live through 2017 beating them, and now he's getting a chance to rub it in the face of Cowboys fans. Like, I think I'm so grateful for the older people in my life that had to live through the Cowboys thing, for them to unveil the banner tonight against the Cowboys. It's just
I think it's that much sweeter.
beautiful. And I love the sense of humor the NFL had to make this the game. Like, this is just tremendous. So we're playing today, remember 1995, because that was the last time the Cowboys won. The 95 season led into 96, obviously, when the Super Bowl was. That's 30 years ago this season. And you can get in on this game at 610-632-0975. It's on our text line. The first texter we see with the correct answer to these 1995 themed questions are entered to win a $50 gift card to Primo's. And you can, shoot us a text now and get us that opportunity to win a $50 Primo Hoagie gift card. You kick off the season right with Primo's today, and every Thursday this football season from 4 to 8, all Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. You can see primohoagies.com for full details. That's a great Thursday night football order for you.
Absolutely.
Not just this week, every week going forward, and we're trying to help you out with the $50 gift card. So we had our first question. Sean Robin got it wrong.
Yes.
But the question was, what was Coolio's #1 Billboard hit in 1995? Amy Fadul, what is the answer to that question?
He was living in a gangster's paradise.
That was the correct
He's been
answer.
spending most of his life living in that gangster.
I know the song.
And the correct texter was?
The correct texter was Brian in Spring City.
All right,
well
so
done,
Brian from Spring City is entered to win that prize. We will continue to ask you one every few segments here, trying to get you a chance to get that $50 gift card. Brian from Spring City, that's happy for me because that's my home area right there. Not too far where I'm from. So
you don't know Brian.
I mean, I know Brian's, but I don't know necessarily if that is a Brian that I know. But shout out to Brian for getting that one correct. Tonight, with this matchup, I mentioned just what it'll mean to the older generation. But what's it going to mean to this organization to see that second banner drop? I mean, you now, in the expectation conversation I heard on the morning show, the competition for one this year is obviously there, but you're slowly inching closer to the upper echelon in the history of this league. 2 puts you in a whole new bracket. 3, if you get another one within this run with these, this core, you're not, again, it takes a lot to go become the franchise of this league, but you're starting to get closer to rarefied air.
The way I think people look at the Eagles as, I hate to borrow from Jimmy Rollins, but as the team to beat. They are the front runners. They are the big dogs. And they've set it up that way. And that's, I think, when you look at the teams, when you go, oh, that was the team of the 70s or the 80s or 90s, Steelers a long time ago, then the Niners, and then obviously the Cowboys. It's because they locked down those core players for a very long time. And there is something to be said for that. And we talked about it last week when, we were dealing with the Micah Parsons trade and that hold out, whatever you want to call it, and some of the other stuff that was going around, Terry McLaurin, obviously, and then obviously Hendrickson as well. When you do what Howie has done, and that's a guy that has learned from his past mistakes, not only in the draft, but the way that they structure their contracts and the timing of them, you set yourself up for success, right? You set yourself up to be this core and have as least amount of turnover as you can, and you judiciously pick the places that you're going to be able to, relinquish. Yes, it would be great if they had Darius Slay. CJ was a tremendous player, but you have to set up to pay Jalen Carter. And it's just not realistic to pay everybody. You got in early with Jalen Hurts. You got in early with A.J. Brown. You got in early with Devontae Smith. You paid Landon Dickerson. You paid Lane Johnson. So now you're going to pay Jalen Carter. They paid a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, this goes into the culture, though. Saquon gets the contract, then gets the extension. Zach Bond gets the extension. Yeah. You perform here, and they find a way to lock you up like they're going to.
And you're going to want to be here.
Right.
And that's the thing. People are going to want to be here, and I think that they've created that. So, yeah, it does take a lot to be the team of the whatever decade you want to choose out here, but I feel like the Eagles right now are that team. The Chiefs had a chance, and obviously they're the beginning of it.
The first half of this decade, Chiefs have the leaderboard.
They do.
You to overtake them in the second half.
You have to get 2 more.
That journey starts tonight. It starts against the Cowboys, who roster building plans go directly counter to what you just said about building that culture and getting in early and getting contract extension to players. We will talk with the man who covers the Cowboys for ESPN, Todd Archer, coming up next So he breaks down the matchup tonight and, of course, gives us the fallout from the Dallas side of things following the Micah Parsons trade. She's Amy Fruel. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through middays right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's game day. I'm Sean Rodman, and the Eagles Cowboys are finally here for the season opener. The banner will be revealed prior to tonight's game. Only one player has been ruled out for the Birds, and that's Tanner McKee. He did not practice this week as he recovers from a fractured thumb injury on his throwing hand. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice earlier in the week, he does not have an injury designation and is ready to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report earlier in the week, and they all will play today as well. SEPTA has announced that normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run for when you leave the game today. Thanks to a deal with FanDuel, it starts at halftime. That includes the local and express lanes and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phillies fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. They'll look to win the series today against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Your favorite songs shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi. Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through the air.
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in, right? And the proof is in the pudding, right? The way that he's been able to lead his team, there are very few coaches in the history of the game that have accomplished what he has accomplished. And he's only been going for a few years, right? So when you think about it that way, he's done an amazing job. And he's still young, and he's fresh, and he has the ability to relate to the guys in the locker room. So I don't think he has to do any more proving anything. He's done it. Right now it's just about being consistent, getting the best out of the guys year in, year out. But he's proven that he's a coach that, honestly, when you talk about down the line, I mean, he's been to two Super Bowls. I mean, there's coaches who we consider legends who haven't even been to one, right? So I think what he's been able to accomplish, he has to have a little bit more respect on him.
Coming up at 2, Unfiltered with Silvana Kelleher, Ricky Bo, and Bill Colarulo. Now back to the Midday Show on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back into the Midday Show here. Closing in on the 11 o'clock hour. You're tuned in to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And now we're going to go to the Comcast Business Hotline. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the Midday Show. We're going to get a chance to talk to the man that covers the Cowboys for ESPN, making the trek out to Philadelphia for tonight's opener. Eagles and Cowboys, that is the one and only Todd Archer joins us. Todd, how are you today?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, feeling good as we get this season started. I want to start with the biggest story out of Dallas over the last couple of weeks. It's been the Micah Parsons saga that ends with him being traded. Could you take us inside just the mentality of that locker room following that deal, the way that you feel that group is feeling after the loss of Micah Parsons?
So you don't think Hunter Lipke signing into your extension yesterday was the biggest? Okay.
No, it's on the notes. Yeah, we'll get to that one, I'm sure.
All right, good. Yeah, look, obviously guys didn't want to see Micah go, and now some of it for a variety of reasons. A lot of the guys are close to him. A lot of the guys realize he's a really good player. And I would say some of the guys are like, okay, he's gone. Like, think of who you guys work with, right? You don't like everybody, but you get along well enough in your work, so there's an element of that. I've been interested to see the reactions of like the leaders and a guy like Dak and the CeeDee Lamb, and it's hard to know right yet on defense who those guys will be because it is such a young group over there and who will develop into that. But they've all talked about like, look, yeah, he's gone and we're going to miss him, but there's a game to be played. And I think if NFL players do anything well, if they're any good, they compartmentalize things and they can move on, right? And let's be honest. I know his agent can say what he wants. Micah was not going to play in this game.
No. So
they weren't going to have him anyway. There's no way he would have played with that back injury, right? So, so they wouldn't have had Micah on the field tonight anyway, in my mind. So nothing really kind of changes just from this game. Now, a 17-game season. Certainly a lot changes, and there's a lot of questions about what this defense can and cannot do now without him.
When you're talking about, obviously, you've been in those locker rooms, you see how the guys react, and obviously they're still gauging it because it wasn't like it was a surprise in the fact that he wasn't going to play. He'd obviously been holding out and holding in. and then he probably wouldn't have played in this one. Just the initial trade, I think there was some surprise. But going forward, how much do you think that because we obviously see it from the outside, but I would think in that locker room, seeing how that played out would give me pause as a player to see, well, this guy's one of the leaders. You wanted to sign him. You said you did, and then this whole thing happened. Do they pay attention to the whole circus that does surround these things, seemingly?
Not really, because if you hear Dak talk about that, if you've been around the Cowboys, you kind of get used to the circus. So
yeah,
and used to stuff being said and maybe when it shouldn't be said or things like that, right? So they're really kind of used to all this stuff. And again, it's funny, like Micah, a leader. Micah was not a leader here. He was developing into one, and this was going to be the year that he probably would have been asked to do more. But DeMarcus Lawrence was the defensive leader the last 3-4 years, right, after Sean Lee left. So that was the guy that they were looking to replace, and Micah would have stepped up into that role potentially this year. But as far as like, well, if you didn't pay Micah, they're really going to pay me? Well, they've signed two guys since losing Micah, and I joked about Lipke. He's one of them. But Pro Bowl corner Deron Bland, he re-signed here. They're talking to Pro Bowl guard Tyler Smith about a long-term deal that could make him the highest-paid interior offensive lineman in the NFL. If that gets done, there's another guy, and that would get done 2 years early. That would be another guy that they'd sign. So I don't think guys are looking at it from the perspective of, well, if they didn't keep Micah, are they really going to keep me? I think this was like a special circumstance that developed out of a misunderstanding between the player and the owner, and then the agent getting involved, that it led to this. But there are people in that building that were told Jerry, you should consider a trade back in April, not here the first week of the season. So it took a while to get there, but Jerry got there, and then he made the deal with the Packers.
We're talking to Todd Archer here, covers the Cowboys for ESPN. And when we could talk about Parsons, and we could talk about Parsons all day, but now he's not a part of the game tonight. When you look at this defense and where it is at going up against a star-studded Eagles offense that does have a new offensive coordinator and its own questions about how that'll play out, what do you make of this Cowboys defense in the wake of the loss of Micah Parsons?
Yeah, you're going from let's use a baseball analogy. Micah was the clear ace, right? Now their best pass rushers are probably all like 2 and 3 starters that they have. Dante Fowler had a double-digit sack season. Sam Williams is a former second-round pick that they like his potential, but coming off an ACL. Donovan Ezeraku, BC kid, local guy here, second-round pick. They like what he can do. But none of those guys, like when they line up, is the coordinator going to say, where's that guy, the way that they always say, where's number 11? So that's going to be interesting. And it was Stephen Jones said at the press conference when they traded Parsons, we believe we can scheme up pressure. You can't scheme up run defense. Interesting. That'd be like saying Wayne Gretzky doesn't back check well enough when he can, he scored 1 billion goals. So I'm interested to see how they can scheme up pressure tonight. Obviously, against a very good offensive line that we all know about. And, oh, by the way, try and slow down Saquon. This probably isn't the best game for the Cowboys to have in their first outing without Micah Parsons.
One thing that there is some concerns here in Philadelphia about the secondary, and I know that Ray and I were talking earlier, like what the game plan would be. And George Pickens seemingly to me would be the he's a great complement to what CeeDee Lamb is. He's a classic, just I'm going to go and I'm going to run, big receiver. How much do they talk about trying to exploit that secondary here in Philadelphia down there in Dallas?
It's funny, like they talk about they want to run the ball, they want to be physical. You think of Brian Schottenheimer, you think of his dad, Marty, and Marty Ball back in the day with Cleveland and Kansas City and things like that. But the best way to attack Philadelphia is probably just what you said, and the Cowboys' biggest threats are CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Kevontae Turpin, and obviously Dak throwing the ball in his last 5 starts against the Eagles. He has 16 touchdown passes and just 1 interception. You might be playing into the Eagles' hands a little bit, but with so many questions on their back end and changes they've had to make, that might be the best way to go about it, provided you can block it up. And the Cowboys' left tackle tonight is going to be Tyler Guyton, their first-round pick from last year. He didn't play at all in the preseason. He broke a bone in his knee on July 28th, has really had about 5 practices 6 practices. So you got a rookie at right guard taking over Zach Martin and Tyler Booker. So the Cowboys have some questions on the offensive line too. But they believe that Schottenheimer said, "Hey, we're only playing with a 7-iron here in the preseason. We're not unveiling everything. They want us to have a surprise attack and show people things that they've not seen yet." We'll see how surprised you can get. I know when I golf, if I don't hit the driver on the range, I don't know how I'm going to hit it on the first tee. So I'm interested to see how the Cowboys come out tonight.
Todd, I know you wrote about Brian Schottenheimer leading up to today's game, and that went up on ESPN, I think, earlier today. What have you been able to make of his first offseason and leading into his first season as the head coach of the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think when he was hired here, I think a lot of Cowboys fans were like, meh. You know what I mean? Like, replacing Mike McCarthy, and, Mike won a Super Bowl and had success in Green Bay, and again, went three straight years of 12-5 in Dallas, but couldn't get far in the playoffs. But I think in the last, what are we on now, 7 months since he's been hired, 8 months since he's been hired, I think he's won over a portion of the people with how he's talked and the things that he said and how he's trying to build this. But now is when you really find out what you have, right? It's when the wins and losses start piling up in either direction. And it's easy to say you want to have a great culture when you've not played a game. Well, let's see that culture after tonight. If this is a lopsided loss, how do they come back week 2? And if they if they somehow win this game, how do they answer the bell week 2 against the Giants? Do they believe in their greatness from one game? So there's a lot on him, and this is the first time he's called plays since 2020. It's a lot to put on a first-year head coach. And Jerry Jones does not like to have done that. He took the play calling away from Jason Garrett after his first 2 years as the full-time head coach because he wanted him to be focused on the whole team and be a walk-around head coach. Schottenheimer's like, he's calling plays. He's involved with the offense. Like, there's a lot on him tonight, game management, all that stuff. This is where the intensity picks up on him because you've had 8-9 months to set your culture. Now, what are you going to do on the field?
A lot has been made here in Philadelphia of the fact that it's the Cowboys in town for the banner raising, revealing. I think they just reveal it. And the fact that Jerry Jones has to sit there.
Yeah, it's already raised, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I think they just drop a thing from it, but more of the expression. But a lot has been raised because Jerry Jones will be in the building, right? And he has to see it, and he has not seen one of those in his building in 30 years. How much is that played into? Yeah. Exactly. So that's all we could talk about. The funny thing is, obviously, because here for years there are 12 Super Bowls around the NFC East and not a single in Philadelphia. And now the Eagles have 2. And it's been a long time for the Cowboys. How much is that played down there, or is it just something we talk about here because of the rivalry?
The lack of Super Bowls or the fact that the Eagles have won? It's everything down there, right? And you've had this Netflix. Yeah, the Netflix documentary just kind of, in my mind, brings all of that back to have you say, man, if you were born in 1996, you've never seen I guess after January of 96, February of 1996 on, you've never seen, not that you would know what's going on, but you've never seen the Cowboys in the Super Bowl
you didn't exist.
Or an NFC title game. So it's everything down there, and there's obviously Jerry's not going to sell a team. He's not going to give up the GM job. He's had teams that should have and certainly could have and maybe should have gone to a Super Bowl throughout the years. 07 was a good team, 14, 16. Those were teams that could have gotten there and ended this talk, but didn't. So it just keeps kind of piling up and piling up and piling up. And you add this Netflix documentary that goes back through the whole history of the 90s, and it just keeps adding unneeded and unwanted pressure on the current guys. Not that they ever feel it or will say they hear it, but it just has to be something that they're tired of hearing about, talking about, especially when Michael Irvin's so out there and Emmett's out there and Troy's obviously on Monday Night Football. So there's constant reminders to these guys all the time of what they've not done compared to the 90s Cowboys. And sometimes Jerry's okay with that because it means a lot of eyeballs are on the Cowboys.
Yes, he likes people are talking about him.
Yeah. But the players are like, just once you'd kind of like to see what it'd be a normal season, a normal week, a normal game around here, and it doesn't happen very often.
All right, well, let's get to the game tonight. Real quick, we're talking to Todd Archer here from ESPN. Todd, what do you have for the game tonight?
I mean, I don't know how you can not pick the Eagles, but I will go back to a couple of years ago when the Cowboys opened up against Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl the previous year, and Dak came out and threw for 403 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they lost 31-29 on a last-second field goal. I'm not saying it's going to be that close, but I think this game will be closer than people think, and I don't know why. I have no good reason other than it doesn't do me any good to say they're going to get wiped out 41-14 like they did in 2000 when Dave Campo coached his first game.
It's the first game, Todd. You never know what could happen. So I think that's more the reason why I also think it's going to be closer than people anticipate tonight. But we appreciate you taking the time to join us today and look forward to your coverage of the game.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Much.
Todd Archer of ESPN joined us on the Comcast Business Hotline. And, man, there's a lot in there. There was a lot to dissect. We will break down. I just love the fact it's the talk of the town that the Cowboys haven't won 30 years.
He's like, oh, yeah, it's talked about here. I hope so.
Everything. Also coming up, 2 things I want to see this evening in this one. Plus, your opportunity to get in on the $50 Primo gift card. The game, remember 1995? Our producer, Sean Rodman, doesn't. Neither do I. Because we weren't alive for it. But remember 1995, we'll give you a pop culture question coming up. I think you can get the next one. In the next segment, we'll have one for you.
Good luck, Sean.
Brian from Spring City right now is our only one entered
Vito
to win
saying no chance.
that one. I think he can.
All right.
She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, taking through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through the air.
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season? Making our way through the 11 o'clock hour. Thank you to Todd Archer from ESPN for joining us in the last segment. Talk Eagles,
Good
Cowboys.
stuff right there.
Alongside Amy Fiddle, I'm Ray Dunn. We get you set for Eagles, Cowboys tonight, and coming up at the end of this segment, the next question for our game, remember 1995, it's your way to get a $50 Primo gift card.
You think Sean's going to get
I
this
think
one?
Sean's going to get this one right. We have two opportunities, two questions come your way this hour. Now, remember 1995 game here, and it is all trivia from the year 1995 today in honor of 3 decades since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Of course, the Eagles going to reveal that banner tonight, and we will get a chance.
Is it banner night?
It is. Don't tell Nick Sirianni. Nobody inside of NovaCare let him know, so we don't want him to know, but it is banner night down there in South Philadelphia. And from what Todd had to say, I respect the business-like approach from the players of the Cowboys in terms of getting ready for this game. You have to imagine there are a number of people that are hurt, at least personally, for the fact that their friend's not there and the fact that someone that they played alongside. And also, I don't know how many guys can walk in. Like, I appreciate the person that walks into the room and says, I can be the guy to replace him. I can be the guy to step up. I respect that mentality of you. I do think there is a reality in that world where everyone in there looks at each other and says, we are not better today without that guy.
Yeah, I just think that's, and I understand, he made the analogy of like the workplace. At the end of the day, in every workplace, you have people that you respect, even if you're not like friends, quote unquote, with them. I would imagine if you played on that Cowboys team, you looked at what Micah Parsons did for your team and thought, well, maybe like I'm not buddy playing Xbox with him, but I respect him.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a good player.
Does a great, he just does a great job. I mean, he's a great
really
player.
Good at
so
it.
that I think is tough from their perspective. Also, mentioned just the idea of, tough running football for the Cowboys. I invite that. If the Cowboys want to come out and try and win a game of physicality against the Birds, I will enjoy the 1-0 conversation tomorrow.
There was definitely some, and I appreciate. He was like, well, first of all, I don't think people really pay attention. I was like, I think people probably pay attention to some of that kind of stuff.
I do think there is a case to be made that they in the wake of Micah Parsons, have probably made it more of a priority to take care of a Deron Bland, to take care of like other guys, because it's like, oh, that money we would have spent on Micah has to be spent somewhere, and we have to make sure this team's still good. Like,
we need to function.
We need some positive news to spread around this locker room and give it rewarding guys for contracts. I feel like is probably. I think that definitely there's looking around like, oh, they're going to take care of me if they didn't take care of Micah, and probably that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
so
I would
maybe in the
think so.
wake of it,
yeah,
some guys are acknowledging that it happened, but I know what you're saying with regards to, I think there's probably a lot of people, oh, man, that did not work out.
Is this how this thing operates? But he did say something that's really true. Is like once you're here, the circus is part of it.
Yeah.
You don't walk into that organization and not realize that what you're walking into.
Listen, you sacrifice a little bit of normalcy for the attention of being a Cowboy.
Yeah.
If you play well as a Cowboy, you're going to get more endorsements. You're going to be more recognizable. It's a part of like the trade-off here. Just like you come to Philadelphia, if you don't expect scrutiny, well, then you don't know the experience that you signed up for.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. So two things tonight that I want to see before we get to the text line on what you want to see. There are two things that really stick out in my mind, one on either side of the football. The discipline of Sidney Brown tonight, playing his position, getting the start at safety, that's going to be big for me. Whether or not they try and go over the top, if I were them, a little, RPO, a little bit of, play action to get him to try and bite on that first step to see if you can get a Pickens versus Dory Jackson matchup that plays to your favor, where that first step in for Brown, you get over the top. That's something for me, the discipline, because he is always firing downhill to try and make something happen. And it's a part of what has made him a great football player throughout his life, but also part of what concerns me, him being out there for the Birds. The discipline of him to stay within his game and not try and make the game-winning play, but just make the play that's going to keep the Cowboys at bay. That's the one thing defensively I want to see from Sidney Brown. Offensively, I got a Devontae Smith type of feel. You know, I'm doing these FanDuel reads. I'm thinking about, like, if I was to throw a little prop down on something, you know. Devontae Smith, last season, that game in the Kelly Greens where you don't have Jalen.
Yeah.
6 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
Just an efficient receiver.
You keep going back. Last year, the first game against the Cowboys, the Eagles dominated. They didn't really need much from him in that game. But beyond that, 2023, 2 games against him. 5 catches, 73 yards, 3 catches, 51 yards, a touchdown. 8 catches, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns back in 2022 in the second game against the Cowboys. The first game against the Cowboys that season, 5 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. He has, in his last 6 games against the Cowboys, 6 touchdowns.
So we love seeing that star.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You know, he had 2 touchdowns the last time the two teams met. He did go 2 games without a touchdown, but then before that had 4 touchdowns in 3 games prior to that. Devontae Smith against a banged-up Cowboys secondary doesn't sound like a bad idea. So 2 things I'm looking for in that.
All right.
What are the people looking for at 610-632-0975?
All right, Sean from Cinnaminson checking in says, I'm 48 years old and up to 2017, I didn't know if I was ever going to see a championship. Now in 25 with 2 under our belt, we are now the best team in the league. Let's own it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Put on your chest, or puff out your chest, I should say, and know we are not the underdogs. We're the top dogs. Go Birds.
Yeah, I think the Eagles have worked their way to, over the last decade of football, would they be between them and the 49ers for the defining NFC franchise?
Yes.
I think that would be the 2 I would have up there as the defining franchises of the NFC. The AFC has been one that has had the 2 dominating teams of the 21st century in the Patriots and the Chiefs. But of the NFC, you know, this even I'll go the quarter century, back to the Reed years. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find NFC teams that have more of a reign over what has been in this conference than the Birds.
I mean, that's the thing. They joked about it when they were Jeffrey Lurie called them the gold standard. Like, you can't be the gold standard if you don't. But I mean, they've become the gold standard. They've become the gold standard the way that the organization is run. They've become the gold standard, obviously, in the way that they have won. I mean, you go back to they're always. I just like how someone pointed out. I think it was in one of the chats. They pointed out that they ended 2 dynasties. I don't know that the Chiefs' dynasty is over, but it was certainly on an absolute tear.
Yeah, no, I mean, at least you ruined the documentary.
Which is great.
Like, are you going to sign up for another Chiefs documentary at this point? No, probably not. So you got to have the cool ending there. Yeah. All right, one more on the text line before your next Remember 1995 question.
All right, another texter saying, tonight is tears and a long wait, like a stock you invested in during high school that didn't hit until you retired.
I love that. That's a great comparison. Not that I would know anything about retiring, and not that I'm that great on the stock market, but it is a great comparison to draw.
That is a very good one.
All right. Sean Rodman, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so you can hit the text line at 610-632-0975. The $50 Primo gift card if you are the first texter to get it right on the text line for our Remember 1995 question. You will be entered to win with Brian from Spring City. Sean Rodman, 0 for 1 right now.
Yep.
Tough.
Which animated feature, released by Pixar in 1995, created quite the buzz as it was the first feature-length computer animated film?
Well, I don't know if it's the first, but I'm going to take your hint with Buzz there.
Oh, okay. All right. Wait, give the people a second here to respond on the text line before you give them any type of answer here. 610-632-0975. Hit that text line with the answer. If you're the first one, you are entered to get the $50 gift card. You're taking my hint of Buzz to mean that the answer to this question is
Toy Story.
There you go.
1 for 2 with Sean Rodman. Good stuff there. We'll see who was the first one to answer Toy Story on the text line at 610-632-0975 coming up next. Plus, we got a rapid fire with Fadul and that fun Micah Parsons report that came out today from Adam Schefter. All that coming up. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's Game Day Philadelphia. I'm Sean Rodman, and this update is brought to you by Groundworks. Brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Birds are in action tonight for the season opener against the Cowboys. The banner will be revealed, and only one player has been ruled out, and that is Tanner McKee. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice earlier in the week, does not have an injury designation and is ready to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report earlier this week. All will play as well. SEPTA has announced that normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run for when you leave the game. Thanks to a deal with FanDuel, it starts at halftime. That includes the local and express lines, I should say, and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phillies fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. They'll look to bounce back today and win the series against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is also brought to you by Mattress Firm. Need better sleep? Upgrade to a premium bed now at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. They make sleep easy. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through the air.
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what I guess what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that...
On game day, Birds, boys, 8:20 start, NBC. He's Amy Fidul. I'm Ray Dunn. You know a thing or two about NBC.
I do.
Yeah.
Be there in a little bit. Just in a little bit.
Yeah, battle the traffic. Get down there.
They're already there. They're already lining up. Some people are already there. Line up to get into the parking lots.
All right, so we've been doing the game today. Remember 1995. It's a giveaway of a $50 Primo gift card, which, by the way, I just got the email. Guess what's in the kitchen right now? Primo Hoagies. Thank you to our friends at Primo. We're giving away the $50 Primo gift card today. Thanks for dropping off trays for our staff today as we celebrate the home opener. You know, every Thursday this football season from 4 to 8, all Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. Makes for a great Thursday night football type of deal here. See PrimoHoagies.com for full details on that. Sean Rodman, you finally got one correct. You are 1 for 2.
Well done.
In
Thank
remembering
you.
1995.
Toy Story is one of my favorite childhood movies.
That's fantastic. Who on the text line got this one correct?
That would be Jamal in West Philly
Well
as
done.
our winner.
So Brian in Spring City, Jamal in West Philly, both qualified.
Yes.
For the $50 gift card to Primos. We'll see who gets the next one right. The next one, I will give you all a hint, is sports related.
Okay.
We'll get to that question later on in this hour. I want to get back to the text line in terms of people talking about tonight's game before we get to rapid fire with Fadul. So, Sean Rodman, what do we have on the text line at 610-632-0975 in terms of text for tonight's game?
All righty. One person checking in saying Adoree Jackson isn't going to just flip a switch and be a different player. I can see Pickens going for a good night, but our Birds will still win 31-24 in a close game.
31-24, the final score in that one. Yeah. Oh, the line right now, thought it was 6.5.
I
But
was going to say you should check that up right now.
I'm going to pull up my trusty FanDuel Sportsbook, which, by the way, FanDuel doing a great job today and covering the Broad Street line for people. So
Yes, the
full
express
service.
trains.
8.5 is the spread, so they would not cover the spread in that one. I do see them cover. I think the Cowboys cover. I think it's closer than people anticipate. You've got the double-digit win.
I do.
Well, let's get to more of how you feel about this game with Rapid Fire with Fadul. 5 questions, 5 minutes, 1 minute a question.
Go.
Let's start with who scores the first touchdown of the Eagles season?
Jalen Hurts.
How?
Tush push.
Oh, man.
Tush push.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Get all the way down there, and they just push his bum all in. Bum push. Tush push. Sponsored by Dude Wipes, I think. I don't know how that's going to work. I saw that, and I was like, well, that's a sponsorship that was made for this.
They push his bum.
Bum push.
All right, there you go. That's the first question. Second question here.
We're going to have to clip that.
Yeah, we got to clip that.
Bum.
Who scores first, the Eagles or the Cowboys tonight?
I think the Eagles still score first. Yeah.
All right, so Hurts scores first.
Correct.
More yards in this game, Saquon Barkley or the leading receiver for the Eagles?
That is an excellent question because I do think they're going to try to balance it out more. I just don't think the Cowboys are very. I don't think that they're going to be able to. I think it's going to be problematic for the receiver. So I'm going to say the Eagles' leading receiver, just because they're going to try to target some of that side of the field. I think that they will be able to limit Saquon a bit more than they will be able to limit both CD and George Pickens. It'll be close, but I'll take the leading receiver for the Birds.
Leading receiver for the Birds.
Right, yeah.
specifically. Okay.
Oh, sorry, did I say CD?
You said CD.
Yeah, sorry.
Which leads me to my next question.
Yes.
Which player owns the longest play from scrimmage in tonight's game?
Devontae Smith.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Yeah.
See, we went with the Devontae thing.
Yeah.
We're on
I
the
think
same
he's gonna have a
wavelength
nice
here.
game.
Which Eagles player registers the most sacks in this game?
I mean, I really want to. I'm going to say Jalen Carter. No, Zach Bond. Give me Zach Bond.
Zach Bond. Ooh, all right.
Sorry.
And the turnover battle tonight will be won by
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
That to me is always emblematic of who will win the game.
And now I was going to go with the potential draw there, potential even. Where
Like there are no. It's
well,
like
maybe
1-1.
1-1. Yeah, I don't know.
So you didn't say who wins. I have to.
You could have said
decide.
no one. That was a trick question. I was lining you up there for that
What?
one. All right, that was the 5. We went rapid fire with
Yeah, that
Patullo
was a
right
little-
there. That
it
was
was a little
very
too much.
very quick. Hey, we want to get quick questions about the game. If you want to get on those questions, you can at 610.
Yeah, I like. Someone had put in there. I almost said Jahad Campbell just because I really like him. I don't know that this is the game that he's going to break free, but I think at the end of the year he's going to be among some of the leaders in the sacks if they play him the way that they should. The way that I think that he is like born to play. That guy is. I really enjoy watching him play.
They compared
Practice.
him to Micah Parsons, which is interesting because it'd be fun to see Micah Parsons play football, but you won't tonight.
No, you
He plays
won't.
for the Packers now. That's
He
a
won't.
shame.
I don't know if they should see him there either.
I think he's there. I think he's gonna play.
Yeah, is he? Okay.
I think they say he's gonna play.
Good for him.
He's got the contract now.
That's right.
It's a lot easier to play through pain when you got the contract.
That backiotomy. He's all fine now.
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's taken care of. All right, coming up, reset where we started the show. Plus, we will address, I don't know if you watched, I did, the beginning of that baseball game last night.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that'll be our, oh, man, that stinks, portion of the show. Otherwise, it's game day here.
it's
We're
all
resetting
positive.
Eagles, Cowboys coming up. Plus, your next chance for the $50 Primo gift card because I'm going in this break to go get myself a Primo hoagie. I'm starving just thinking about it. Your next chance, our game, remember 1995? Cowboys fans do because the last time they won a Super Bowl. 3 decades without one. Such a shame. We will ask you the next question from 1995, sports related, coming up in the next segment. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Join the Fanatic for the inaugural live broadcast of
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced
Well,
through
it
the air.
depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same.
Sean Rodman producing the show here, middays 97.5, The Fanatic. I've got my Primo Hoagie here.
All set.
Giving away our $50 Primo gift card throughout the show today. But, of course, we're previewing Eagles and Cowboys tonight. The open of a new season, the chance to look at that banner. And last night I watched America's game after the Phillies disappointment. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing, one, to watch down that disappointment and make me forget about it, but also just to relive all those moments of last year. And one thing that stuck out, one, they did a tremendous job on it.
Yes.
But also just like listening to the level of leadership they had on that group and the number of guys that are back this year in leadership positions that they still have, whether it be Bond, Barkley, Hurts showing personality. All of it was tremendous in that documentary last night. I do have a Hurts takeaway coming up later on in the show, but I want to get you where we started today. And where we started was concerns tonight. Because I was listening this morning to Kincade and Salciunas, and John said, if you're concerned about the Eagles handling the Cowboys tonight, then you don't believe in this team. And it's not so much that I don't believe in this team. The only concerns I have are more first-game concerns than they are actually Cowboys-related concerns. There's some Cowboys strengths that line up with Eagles' weaknesses. We've talked about that wide receiver room and what they could be capable of on the Dallas side of things. And honestly, I just don't want to see a team that starts slow in the first game just because, again, natural growing pains of a season getting underway. I think that leads to a closer game than people anticipate, than the 8.5 spread gives you. That's the only thing for me, really, coming into tonight. That's the only trip-up point for me. Not that I think this Cowboys team is tremendous, but I'm curious for people if there are real-life Cowboy, like real-life roster, real Eagles big-picture concerns that bother you tonight, or if you're more like me where it's the first game of the season, I'm going to wait and see. I just want to see it put out there on the field before I jump to a double-digit win.
With your first game jitter type of vibe, are you more first game jitters with the offense not clicking right away or the defense needing some time to kind of get settled?
So let's say you win the toss, you defer because that's how things work. The Cowboys go down the field and score, and you're playing from behind. Like, all right, that changes the game script on you. Things all of a sudden switch around for you. That could be, all right, first game, we had what we wanted to do game plan-wise. It didn't necessarily go the way we thought it would off the jump. Now we have to adjust, and this is a new coordinator adjusting on the fly.
Yeah.
If everything doesn't go the way you anticipated with this game, are they able to? Is that offensive coordinator able to adjust? Is the communication between he and his quarterback so that it'll be perfectly fine? It doesn't matter. And, a little bit of, hey, listen, we do have a banged-up Landon Dickerson. You have, obviously, Tyler Steen making that first start of the season, but also being handed that right guard job for the first time. Is there anything there offensively that could not go nearly the way I anticipate? On the other side of things, defensively, again, what does it look like for that secondary? It's more about just getting to see it out on the field than necessarily believing that this team is even close to your playing field, even close to your level.
No.
I mean, you heard it from Todd Archer. He's like, I hope it's close for my sake. I'd love for something interesting to talk about with this game. He's like, but, I think the Eagles should take care of them. And my perspective, if we're not talking about 1-0 tomorrow, oh boy, I will not be thrilled.
I don't foresee how that could happen.
I don't think it's going to happen that way either.
I don't. But I also think that, and I know the concerns over Kevin Patullo, concerns is probably too strong, but definitely there is the new coordinator. If there are some hiccups or whatever, how that will be handled. You hit the nail on the head. Nick Sirianni is still here. Nick Sirianni is going to have his hands into that offense. So I think that's going to be, if there is any that's going to be a steadying factor, I would think, if any kind of like, all right, well, that's not ideal. We're going to maybe have a different, we have to use the second script that we have. The first script was we go down and we score right away. Now we're already behind.
And I say that one possession, isn't the overriding, isn't going to change the world in this one. But if you give up a score, you end up going 3 and out for whatever reason. Yeah. And then you're just talking about a different game. And I think at that point,
changes.
That's one of those things where I don't foresee it happening, but there is a world in which that's like a crazy, unrealistic possibility. How do you adjust from there? Yeah. And I haven't seen them adjust before, so I'd like to see it happen in real time. And then once they show me, hey, Ray, we are that same team, doofus,
don't you
get
worry.
over it. Yeah.
What's your deal?
We're 1-0. You're a moron with the microphone. Let's move on. I'll feel good.
I'm going to get that shirt for you.
I really want that. They got unfiltered shirts. I feel like I deserve more on with a microphone. It's just my face and what the O's, Moron with a microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, because I am the moron with the microphone. Yeah.
Hello.
All right. Something that I felt moronic for really looking forward to was the return of Aaron Nola, which has just turned into an absolute disaster. He's got a higher ERA since he came back than he had before he went to the injured list, which last night, this is your 5 minutes of Phillies. So soak it in, enjoy it, because 5 runs
that's it
before and out was brutal. And with that, we're left to basically say, yeah, you might want to break up those lefties in the postseason rotation, but I don't think you necessarily have the ability to.
I know, because we talked about what order we would go. And I was like, oh, maybe you put Nola in there a second.
Nope.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't.
Nope. So, and there's
it was 5-0 and there wasn't an out recorded.
Legitimate chance he's not on the postseason roster.
No.
Like, I guess they would give him the respect of being on the roster, but not being in the rotation. Like, we have to have a serious conversation about whether or not he is worthwhile rostering if he's not going to be a starter. Like, maybe, I guess a length guy if you're down, but...
As long as it's not the first inning.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to open with Luzardo and then hand the ball to Nola.
You'd asked me yesterday if they win one more in Milwaukee, and I said, yes, I thought they did. Or how many more? I think I said 1, and you said when. And I was like, probably tomorrow. But it's because I had more faith in Ranger. But I really had hoped that you would see, because the velocity had been back, obviously location completely off for Nola. The velocity wasn't even really there last night, to be honest, or not early on. And then he comes back, and obviously he gets out of the inning, and it settles down after that, if you want to call it that. But you put up a 5 spot in the first inning without recording a single out.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. What he's been able to do against the Braves, and then in terms of going back out there last night, and recording the outs of after those 5 runs, there's a chance in a postseason game he's just not getting through a first inning. And that sets you back entirely.
You can't do that. You cannot do that.
And Colby, I know, big Nola guy in the YouTube chat was, are you insane for saying that he's not going to be on the roster? I guess the respect they would show, they're not going to leave him. He's not just going to be standing there clapping. But, it's tough when you line up, what his role would be for him to be on, he'll be there. For what is more a question. And I guess when you look around the rest of the depth of the pitching in this organization, it's all right. If we get the best version of Nola, we get 3 innings out of him, and that's pretty good. But the best version of Nola, the best 2025 version of Nola is nowhere close to the best version of Nola, and that's been what's been able to give you some pretty good moments in the postseason. Go back to that Cardinals wild card series.
Exactly.
Go back to the Braves series, both 22 and 23. There's been good moments there, and right now you're not getting it. So it's depressing to watch. He continues to pitch himself out of the postseason rotation and pitch himself out of any real meaningful leverage spot in the postseason, which is a shame to see.
It's hard to see.
It's hard to watch. And then, now we'll probably have to talk about the 3 lefties. And then is there a chance he'll end up a 4th starter in NLDS? Maybe. Because I think they would give him that respect to do that instead of anyone else on this roster. But, hey, Walker Buehler, let's see what you got.
Oh.
Now, that's where we're at. Now, real quick. I want to get to another question here because this is a Phillies related Remember 1995 question.
Remember 1995.
We're playing Remember 1995 today. You're texting in at 610-632-0975. The answer to the question I ask. The first person to get the correct answer to our text line is entered to win a $50 Primo gift card. And, of course, we chose 1995 because 30 years ago, the Cowboys began their most recent Super Bowl season. Tough for them. And also, we're playing Remember 1995 because the producer today, and also me, the producer today, Sean Rodman, does not
alive.
remember 1995.
No.
Was not alive for it. This one is a Phillies-related 1995 question. This right-handed pitcher, according to Baseball Reference, led the team in the statistic WAR across the 1995 season. Right-handed pitcher in 1995 with the highest WAR, Baseball Reference version of WAR, in the 1995 season. Text your answer to 610-632-0975. Again, it's the 1995 Phillies right-hander with the highest WAR amongst all players for the Phillies in that season. It is a pitcher from the 1995 Phillies, a right-hander. Amy Fadul, I don't know if she's Googling it right now, but she is perplexed by the question.
I am.
This is a tough one.
This is a
Phillies
tough one.
pitcher.
So 610-632-0975. Text your answer to it. Now, Sean Robin, 1 for 2 so far in this game. Who is your answer?
I know there's two people I'm thinking of, and I don't
know if this is a trick question, if he's trying to go with our very own here as well. That's the part where I'm like, I don't know if his WAR would be that high, though.
because
are you doubting what he is as a pitcher, I guess?
yeah, I mean,
there were some, you got to think. You are 2 years removed from 93, so there still could be some good ones sticking around.
Yeah, that's where I'm not.
There was what, but the WAR.
Wins above replacement.
As a pitcher.
Yeah, I would have.
Highest.
I have two guesses, but I don't.
All right, we've given you enough time to meander your thoughts.
Can I phone a friend and Amy?
No.
Why not?
No, she's helped you think this through. You guys have basically phoned the friend. She's helping you talk through it.
I mean, I'm gonna go with our very own Ricky Bowe.
It would be
Well
our very
done.
own Ricky Patullo.
Well done.
Highest WAR
Schilling
according
was
to
a good
Baseball
guess,
Reference.
but-
Yeah, Schilling would have been a
That was my next one, but
Yeah.
I was between the two and I didn't know.
Yeah, Ricky Patullo.
What was his WAR?
Known analytics guy. Loves WAR. And he was in 1995 the Philly with the highest WAR across the entire team. He was set 2.9 or 3, depending on what you look at. I think they're.
I just pulled it up. So the other
landing
highest,
page has 2.9, and then the actual page from is 3. So I'm very confused how it's different in two different spots. But highest WAR on the team.
the overall,
1995.
Darren Dalton was on that team. He had a WAR of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Morandini 2.5.
A lot of all-stars on that team.
Yeah, Eisenreich. Yeah.
But no, I'm dead serious.
2?
For that season, Dalton was an all-star.
Right.
Had again, according to Baseball Reference, I'm just looking at their awards. All-star. Morandini was an all-star that year.
Yes.
Dykstra was an all-star that year.
Schilling was
Who else?
2.2. Sid Fernandez 1.4.
Tyler Green. So yeah, there was a few. So yeah, Schilling was, what did you say, 2.2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they fell short of Ricky Bowe, a full 3. 3 wins
you
above
go.
replacement.
That would've-
So coming on the other side, we'll get you the winner. The one that is entered to win the $50 Primo gift card in our game, Remember 1995. Plus the NFL notes at noon and more on the Eagles and Cowboys coming your way. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Just a few hours away from kickoff. I'm Sean Rodman, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. Eagles, Cowboys, the season opener is finally here. The banner will be revealed tonight, and only one player has been ruled out for the Birds, and that's Tanner McKee. He did not practice this week as he deals with a thumb injury that he fractured earlier in training camp. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice earlier in the week, does not have an injury designation and is good to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report earlier in the week, and all will play as well. SEPTA has announced that normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run for when you leave the game. Thanks to a deal with FanDuel, it starts at halftime that includes the local and express lanes and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phillies fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. They'll look to bounce back and win the series tonight against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phils and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that studied what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. It's 12 o'clock here, which means we are almost 8 and pretty much 8.5 hours away from kickoff.
The parking lots are almost open.
Almost open. Don't tell the people that are already down there.
They're already down there. They're partying on Broad Street as it is.
Oh, man.
They're already there.
Ready to go. I'm ready for this game. You're tuned in to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is the Midday Show. We've been playing Remember 1995 to give away our $50 Primo gift card today in honor of the fact it's been 30 years since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, and the Eagles are going to show them what a Super Bowl banner looks like tonight in person, coming off of the win last season. Our game featured Ricky Patullo trivia in the last segment, which a lot of people weren't anticipating. The 25-year-old right-hander had the highest WAR amongst any player. Again, corny baseball reference. Any player on that 95 Phillies team. But I said right-handed pitcher, and immediately most of our audience did not think Ricky Patullo.
Oh.
No, most of the answers on there was Curt Schilling.
Yeah, that was my initial guess.
Which was what I was going for, honestly. I love Ricky, but I was trying to misdirect the audience on that one. I wanted to see how many people. I did it.
I was trying to read you on that one.
Yeah, no, you did a good job. You did a really, really good job. That misdirection right there, if you were playing linebacker, you would have crushed that right in the backfield. That was good by you. That was a really good work by you. So you are 2 for 3.
Yes.
Who from the audience got that one correct and is now entered to win the $50 gift card?
That would be Tevin from Northeast Philadelphia.
All right, congratulations to Tevin. We got 2 more questions coming up in this hour, this 12 o'clock hour, which is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates, and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. We're moments away from the NFL notes at noon. But something very interesting was said on Get Up today. Coming up later in the 12 o'clock hour, we're going to play that for you about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, what they are in the current iteration of the NFL. I don't know if I would go as far as Dan Orlovsky did, but Orlovsky got a lot of people excited. Let's get, though, it is noontime, to the NFL notes at noon.
All righty, let's start us off with some notes. That is a break. Well, I don't know if it's breaking news right now, but earlier today, at least it was. Nick Bonito is getting a 4-year, $120 million deal with $70 million guaranteed for the Denver Broncos after 13.5 sacks last year. Denver is going to be coming to Philadelphia Week 5, October 5th, 1 o'clock game, which we'll have the pregame and postgame for you following that game as well, including tonight as well. But I just wanted to note some extensions that Denver's handed out with a rookie contract from their quarterback, Bo Nix. Some other contract extensions. Sutton got an extension, 4 years, $92 million. Zach Allen got an extension, 4 years, $102 million as well. They're paying their guys and locking them up while they have that cheaper quarterback right now.
And this is why I think this Broncos team is in contention to go to the postseason. Like, I think this is a team that will end up playing in the postseason. I happen to like Bo Nix, not to the level I think a lot of people like. I'm not necessarily like the Bo Leavers, the ones that have made him like their.
You can't. That's like a thing for like musical artists. Bo Leavers?
No, I think you have to do it for your athletes as well. No, I mean like the Wolfpack, you got to have your core.
That's a different thing. That's like those are for like special relievers and stuff.
I think you got to have your core crazy fan. Yeah, your core crazy fan base.
All right.
I just we need that, honestly.
Who do we have?
We need something like that for the Birds. I'm trying to think who we can.
Jalen's Gems? I don't know. I have to think on that.
Yeah.
What about Duran's? I don't know. Durantulas. I don't know. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
the Durantulas.
You got us there for a second, and then
you lost me. You were so close to paying it off there.
And then we got nothing.
I was throwing a dart. It didn't hit.
No, it did not. No, that actually got me in the eye. Yeah, the dart. So thanks, appreciate that.
You're welcome. I pierced the glass in front of us.
Yeah, you did. Good work by
Guantanamo.
you. But the Broncos are doing a really good job of having the quarterback on the rookie contract and building the team around him.
All right.
I think Sean Payton's a touch overrated by the NFL media because I think they just tend to like the guy that's been there and done it before instead of getting enamored.
Yep.
But I like what they're doing. I don't think it's enough to win their division, but I think it's enough to be the second best team in their division.
Yeah, I think that when you look at that and you were looking at around the league yesterday, I think the Broncos are a team that people are like, maybe they have a little something.
Double-digit wins.
Yeah, a little something fun
postseason game. You run into one of the top 3 seeds in the AFC and your season ends. You honestly, if you're in the AFC and you don't think you're going to win your division, you're just hoping to get the 5 seed so that you end up getting the Texans in the Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah,
that's kind of the goal as an AFC team.
That's a quintessential Saturday afternoon.
As an average AFC team, the goal is to get double-digit wins, get the 5 seed, and find your way into that game against the Texans. That's your goal, because you think you're going to play a divisional weekend. All right, what else we got?
All right, number 2, another guy getting paid, but for a different reason, off the field. Jamar Chase, we got his big contract not too long ago, but he's getting another contract. He's going to be leaving Nike to sign with Fabletics, according to Jordan Schultz. He is now the first NFL athlete with Fabletics.
All right.
Do they make? I haven't seen them make any shoes. Is that right? Because I know they make all the I don't know the word.
Athleisure.
Thank you. I know we've done this before. I need help with athleisure.
There you go. Hey.
I know I got it this time. Thank you. Oh, I have the sounder down for you.
Sorry, I was giving you an applause. There you go. That's all right. Moment's passing.
Yeah. Well, anyways, he's going to be the first one with Fabletics. No word on how much that contract is yet, at least from what I saw earlier. But yeah, he's getting paid with Fabletics now, and I assume that they're going to be signing a few more athletes as well.
Yeah, so the Fabletics for men side
Just
of things.
athleisure?
Like it's athleisure. I'm on Fabletics website right now, and it's I'm looking for the men's section of most of what they do. So I think they're going to have to.
There's shorts. I have some Fabletics clothes. They like kind of workout gym shorts. They have the t-shirts, sweatshirts kind of thing. They have golf pants now. I have a couple of those for golfing. It's good quality. I like their.
So it's more like tops and bottoms, though.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if they even have any shoes in general.
I don't think they do.
So could he go back to Nike with a shoe?
Not.
Well, then there's probably something where he can just have those, unless they're making some for him.
That part
but
I don't know.
I imagine he could just wear Nikes and do it. Maybe he can just wear anything he wants.
I'll be as bold to say this. I'll wear whatever shoes if a company's going to throw a lot of money at me.
Yeah.
So if I'm Jamar Chase and I'm going to be the first one that ends up with this company, I'll wear whatever shoe.
Well, it's like when Steph Curry first signed with Under Armour. Everybody's like, they don't make basketball stuff. Oh, they do now.
They do now.
Joel Skechers.
Yep.
They do now.
They do now. So we'll see. I actually, now that I'm on their website here, I could use a couple of these pants. They're nice pants.
Okay.
I went into the, I have the Lulu, like the one, like khaki pants. And they're very comfy, and they have like the athleisure type feel to them.
I think they're a little bit less price-wise than.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it.
I'm
I'm now shopping because of you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Costco has the Lulu pants knockoff. Tremendous.
Oh.
Do that.
I
Might have to
need to become a member.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Costco's great.
Yeah, well, someday. Maybe someday. All right, what else we got, Robin?
Lastly, unfortunately going to end on some bad news for the Jets. Jets offensive guard Elijah Vera Tucker tore his tricep and was confirmed he's going to be out for the season by their head coach, confirmed earlier today, Aaron Glenn.
Nothing good happens there in New York for the Jets. That's an organization that, as I was going through yesterday, I was like, well, maybe I was like, I just can't justify more wins for them than 6.
There's a fun story potentially in the NFL Notes at noon on Monday from the Jets, though.
Oh, man, I need it so bad. I need it so bad this weekend.
Fun story.
You have no idea how badly I need them to win this game on Sunday.
That doesn't have to do with them winning.
Oh, okay. Well, I need so badly for them to beat the Steelers. I need it. I'll be rooting for them. I might bring out.
Why? Why do you need that?
I would love nothing more than for Aaron Rodgers' first game as a Steeler.
He should come out with the American flag again.
I need it. Please. I'm begging you. One thing for me.
I can't get behind
One thing for me, New York. I'm going to break out the old Tebow Jets jersey I have, and I am going to rock it Sunday for a big Jets-Steelers matchup. I'm rooting for the guys in green all weekend long.
I can't get.
Good stuff there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. All right, coming up next, what did Dan Orlovsky have to say about Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni?
I don't actually.
Yeah, you don't know.
I actually don't know.
It's not on the show sheet because it happened in live time this morning on Get Up, and I saw it, and I was like, okay. Good for us. We went exactly 0 days in the NFL season without placing crazy labels on these guys. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and we have a huge show.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through the air.
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach.
Welcome back into the Midday Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Get you set for kickoff of the 2025 NFL season. Most importantly, the Eagles season tonight against the Cowboys. Both of us feel good in the sense that they're going to win. You feel good to the point where you got double digits. I'm not betting.
You're not betting?
On the point spread. I was going to say,
I was like, I've already heard your Devontae Smith.
Listen, I got a couple of things that I got cooking otherwise. But I'm not betting when it comes to the spread tonight. If I were to be a bet man.
If you were.
On the spread. Again, I'm betting on it. But not on the spread. The spread, I would probably lean towards Cowboys cover. 8.5 is just a lot of points for the first game of the season. I think it's going to be closer than most people anticipate around here. Now, with the start of NFL season, of course, I think the offseason is probably the biggest take season. So it's not exactly take season, but you get the opening round of NFL darts to be thrown.
Yes.
And Dan Orlovsky, who has been a guest a number of times on these airwaves, and I appreciate the analysis he does for quarterbacks and for just across the National Football League for ESPN, was on Get Up this morning. And he threw out quite the opening punch for the Eagles in the 2025 season. This might be bigger than anything the Eagles could show you tonight in the game this evening. Take a listen to what Orlovsky had to say about Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are the modern-day Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Total alignment. Like, you know what I remember Belichick and Brady constantly saying stuff and being like, there's no way you actually think that or feel that way or you operate like that. And it feels the same way. Jalen's just robotic and maniacal and very focused, not out in the public like Tom was when he was playing. And Sirianni, there's no way that he doesn't know. He says, and you're like, maybe he didn't really know. Like the same way Coach Belichick would say stuff when we'd be like, there's no way that you think that way. It just feels like their alignment and the way that they're so hyper-focused and blocking out the noise, it's very Belichick-Brady-like.
Okay. Amy Fadul had not heard that audio until this exact moment, so I want to just let Amy blind react to what she just heard.
Stunned. First of all, the same alignment. I don't even know where to start. Also, the obliviousness with which Nick Sirianni says things like, we didn't know it was Banner Day and whatever else. He's not surly. So Bill Belichick was surly. He was a surly man. He was focused, sure, but he was surly. I don't think he could be more wrong about saying the analogy of the alignment of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts is the exact same, in Dan Orlovsky's opinion, as Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I don't even know where to. It's so much to unpack. Tom Brady was not. No, in no way did he ever have any media press conferences or interactions that resembled what Jalen Hurts does. Because Tom Brady, really, aside from maybe the very, very beginning of his career, was never doubted the way that Jalen Hurts was. So I don't think he ever approached the media that way. I think he was,
You're so taken aback by this. It's incredible. It's amazing to watch you try and process this.
I can't believe when he said that. I was like, wait, aligned? I don't even know that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are aligned together, much less aligned with another coach and quarterback.
So what I will say is when I first saw this, I tried to process it like you just did. Like, whoa, okay.
What am I?
Belichick is like 6 words, feels like you got a lot out of him. If you get 6 minutes and an answer by Sirianni, you're not surprised. So like that, from that perspective, they're different. Brady and Hurts, the early portions of the career when you talk about, wow, really good defenses, the way that they win in terms of just the team, maybe, you'll see, like, I think a lot of people back in the early 2000s, like, would you rather have Peyton Manning as your quarterback or Tom Brady? Like, if you gave Peyton Manning Tom Brady's team, what would it be? Like, those types of arguments would, I think, also apply to Brady at that time.
Right.
So I could see some of the comparison. The issue for me is to call them the modern-day Belichick and Brady infers more winning than what's happened here. I'm very grateful for what I've got here so far from them. I don't necessarily love jumping to that level this quickly because you're talking about the greatest quarterback of all time and the greatest coach.
I mean,
I think
it's hard to argue with that.
You're talking about the greatest tandem, whether the two.
Yeah, I don't know that Tom Brady wins with another coach. How about that?
Ooh, I like that.
I
was rooting for Belichick to win the breakup. Brady won the breakup, but I was rooting for Belichick.
I was rooting for Bill Belichick. But his really took a turn for the UNC. But I think that Brady isn't what he is without Belichick, personally.
Yeah, I think each one needed each other, and no one needed the two of them more than the Patriots organization. Because I think the Patriots organization has shown you that without that, they are nothing. And I listen to that, and I try and process it as what makes sense to me in my head about this, about what Orlovsky was saying. I think the way that Sirianni has tried to put last year and really done a good job of taking that messaging and applying it to his team of last year not being anything and you have to focus on what you have in front of you is Belichick-esque. I think that is good work in that way. I think Hurts, the laser focus on winning, his selling out to do pretty much what it takes for them to win is Brady-esque. But I can't put them to the level in which Orlovsky does of saying they are the modern day those two because we do this a lot, and I had this discussion about prospects when we were talking about Andrew Painter and the Garrett Cole comparison.
Right.
Garrett Cole is special because he's Garrett Cole. Tom Brady is special because he's Tom Brady. Bill Belichick is special because he's Tom Brady, because they have accomplished something well beyond what the average or what even some of the best have done. And even putting Garrett Cole in the conversation with those two doesn't feel right to those two. But to make that comparison makes it seem normal that you saw Brady and Belichick, and that's not normal. And you can't just put someone in that lofty perch without them doing a level of abnormal. And so far, they have done what is abnormal to the Philadelphia organization, and that's go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. That's something that coaches and quarterbacks here haven't done. But I can't put them to that level.
Yeah, I appreciate that we always feel like we need to have some sort of comparison because it's a good baseline to figure out like what it is we're looking at, whatever it is. There's always comparisons around. He's the next such and such. They're the next this. That place is just like this. You have to have it. So frame of reference. I hear what you're saying as far as the way that the systematic approach to the game, very Tom Brady-like. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have the Tom Brady-like systematic approach to the game. If you want to be successful, why wouldn't you look at the guy that has won a ton of these things? 7, for Pete's sake. 7.
Right. So that's the thing. To get
Super
yourself
Bowls.
to that
So of
comparison,
course-
you need more than one.
And Brady, I'm sure, looked at the guys that had won it before. And
Yeah.
what did they do? And how successful were they? Were they? And it doesn't mean necessarily you had to win the Super Bowls, because I think there's other people you can take away from John Elway. You can look at and think that he really worked hard and whatever else. But I mean, it seemed like such a big leap. And I was like, why do we have to go? Isn't there another relationship that's pretty good that you can go with that would have been a good one? I think Patrick Mahomes is a methodical, focused quarterback.
It doesn't grab the same way of Brady Belichick.
Yeah, so I was just like, it was 0 to 60.
Loved watching Amy and listening to that in real time.
I was like, what am I listening? I honestly couldn't.
All
believe it.
right. Next question.
Oh, we're ready.
Remember 1995. For those that have just joined us, 1995 was the last NFL season in which the Cowboys ended up the Super Bowl champion. 3 decades. Tonight, the Cowboys get a chance to watch the Eagles reveal their Super Bowl banner in the opener tonight. Because Sean Robin and myself were not alive in 1995, we're playing Remember 1995 to see if he can guess alongside you the answers to these questions from that calendar year. If you get the question right when you text it 610-632-0975, you are entered to win the $50 Primo gift card if you are the first correct answer that we see. Sean Rodman's 2 for 3. He's feeling himself after that Ricky Bo answer. Let's see if he can get this one. The 67th Academy Awards were held in 1995 out there in Los Angeles. They were hosted by David Letterman. And Tom Hanks won Best Actor in a Leading Role. He won for what movie? 610-632-0975. Go to the text line. 1995 movie in which Tom Hanks wins for Best Actor in a Leading Role. What movie did he win for?
Come on, people.
610-632-0975. All right, I've given you enough time to think over there, Sean Rodman. You are 2 for 3. You've gotten 2 correct in a row. What movie was it?
Can I ask a stipulation of this question?
No.
Well, does this mean that the movie came out in 1995, or
I think it was
they won the award in 1995?
They were released in 1994.
He won the award
the
in
award
1995.
was awarded in.
Because I want to take out. That's why I'm taking out Toy Story with that question. I don't know what movie came out in, I guess, 1994.
Tom Hanks never won for Toy Story.
I didn't
Best
think
Actor
so.
in a Leading Role.
And I didn't think he'd win for Toy Story in that regard. But I'll go with the city that we reside in, Philadelphia.
Amy Fadul, what is the correct answer?
And I was running.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm mad at myself for that one.
Come on.
Forrest Gump would be the answer to that one. He beat out Morgan Freeman in
Was that Shawshank?
Redemption,
Which,
as well as John Travolta.
I thought, looking back,
Shawshank Redemption is my favorite
that's-
movie of all time.
That is a tremendous movie. Morgan Freeman made the movie. He should have won. Sorry.
Love
Let's
Forrest
see.
Gump as
I'm
well.
curious to see who on the text line gets it correct. The first correct answer we see at 610-632-0975. Will get yourself entered to win the $50 Primo gift card. I might go get myself some more Primos. Primos dropped off a tray for us, and it's football season on Thursdays. Every Thursday this football season, 4 to 8, all Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. See primohoagies.com for full details. Coming up at 12:30. We will have John Price, who is out of retirement, giving us the best picks for this weekend of football. Sports Information Traders excited to talk to John Price and see what he's got for tonight, for this weekend. You'll get a chance to hear him coming up at 12:30. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's game day, Philadelphia. I'm Sean Rodman, and the Eagles Cowboys are ready for the season opener tonight. It's finally here. The banner will be revealed prior to tonight's game, and only one player has been ruled out for the Birds, and that's Tanner McKee. He did not practice this week as he recovers from a fractured thumb injury on his throwing hand. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice earlier in the week, does not have an injury designation and is good to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report this week, and all will play as well. SEPTA has announced the normal game day trains on Broad Street Line will run for when you leave the game today, thanks to a deal with FanDuel. It starts at halftime. That includes the local and express lanes and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phillies fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. Phillies look to win the series today against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Your favorite songs shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi. Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced
Well,
through
it
the air.
depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in, right? And the proof is in the pudding, right? The way that he's been able to lead his team, there are very few coaches in the history of the game that have accomplished what he has accomplished. And he's only been going for a few years, right? So when you think about it that way, he's done an amazing job. And he's still young, and he's fresh, and he has the ability to relate to the guys in the locker room. So I don't think he has to do any more proving anything. He's done it. Right now it's just about being consistent, getting the best out of the guys year in, year out. But he's proven that he's a coach that, honestly, when you talk about down the line, I mean, he's been at 2 of them.
Under 8 hours away from this NFL season, and more importantly, this Eagles season kicking off. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the midday show, and Sean Rodman producing the show. A tough showing for him, and I'll remember 1995 game in the most recent segment.
1 year off on Philadelphia.
Yeah, but tough. I mean, hey, Tom Hanks had quite a run there. But if you miss it, right now we're playing Remember 1995 for our $50 Primo Hoagies gift card. You can text in the correct answer at 610-632-0975. And the first person to get our question right as it relates to the year 1995, last time Cowboys won the Super Bowl, tonight Dallas has to watch as the Eagles reveal another Super Bowl banner, the opener this evening. Who was the one that got Forrest Gump the correct answer for the 1995 Academy Awards Best Picture?
That would be Jeffrey from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, Jeffrey, going to make a trip up here to get some Primo Hoagies. Well worth the trip.
It might be coming up for a game this year, so
there you go.
Be perfect.
There you go. Sounds good. And what else sounds good? Is the opportunity to talk to our next guest. He is back, and he has been in this market before. He's been a fan favorite here in Philadelphia. First appeared back on this station in 2017. Had a tremendous year that year. 63% of his NFL on-air plays hit, which mostly featured, of course, the Eagles. He has been tremendous. His company, Sports Information Traders, is still the gold standard when it comes to sports betting. And now, after taking 2 years off, he is back on the radio, back here with us on 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome on back to our friend John Price. John, how are you?
I am so excited to be on in Philadelphia. Look at what the Eagles have accomplished. Big year in front of us. The Phillies are going to make another run. I'm diving into the pool of red and green, let me tell you. And you know what? We still have some clients who came on board in 2018 who are still with us. So many of you already know who I am. For the others who don't, my name is John Price. My company is sportsinformationtraders.com. I formed the company many years ago with some of the best analysts in the country to help people make money. And yes, we have explosive plays and big games, but we're also very much into money management like the stock market. So we want you to come on board for the entire season beginning today. 100 plays, college and NFL football, 50% off because you're a listener in Philadelphia. And it all begins tonight, where I have 2 very big plays in the Eagles-Cowboys game. I've been on the radio all day, and people have been calling in for these 2 plays in the game tonight. So I told my team to get on it, and I know you're going to appreciate this. When you go to our site, sportsinformationtraders.com, look for the tab that says JP's Philly Special. You think the folks in Kansas City love that title? Probably not. But guess what? You're the Super Bowl champs, so it's called JP's Philly Special. You'll see it right on our site, sportsinformationtraders.com. When you click on it, you can buy it directly and be on tonight's 2 plays. One of them is a side or total, and the other is a prop wager involving one of the 2 teams. So you can get that right now directly at sportsinformationtraders.com.
Again, John Price of Sports Information Traders. And you heard earlier he say, entire NFL and college football season, you're getting 50% off today by going to sportsinformationtraders.com. And you call them at 866-356-1232. All starts tonight. You mentioned the 2 big plays, but taking you away from the game for a second, because that is your private play. You're going to give us something else to keep an eye on when it comes to the Eagles?
Yes, let's look at the win total. You guys can roll with this one. The win total's at 11.5 right now in Vegas. First of all, barring any significant injuries, this team's a lock for the playoffs. I think they also have the best chance to win the division and position themselves for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Now, first of all, they have the 4th hardest overall schedule in the NFL statistically. They also have an insane road schedule at the Chiefs, Bucks, Vikings, Bills, Packers, Chargers, and of course the Commanders, Cowboys, and Giants. If you take a team that's medium talented or just very good, they're going 9-8. But that is not the Philadelphia Eagles. Talent-wise, I believe they're the best team in the National Football League. And last year they proved to be the best road team, going 6-1 on the road when Jalen Hurts was under center. Their defense only gave up 16 points a game on the road, which is unheard of. This team is the real deal. They're going to get even stronger as the year moves along, and they are definitely a 12-win team. So here I'm taking the over 11.5 wins on the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. While we'll watch for that play to play out through the season, the two plays that I have tonight, which I expect to win, are yours. They're available. You can purchase them right now directly on our website, sportsinformationtraders.com. When you go to our site, look for the tab that says JP's Philly Special. Click on it. Purchase the two plays. You will access them. We're going to win two tonight. It's either a side or total and a prop wager. You can purchase them right now. Or the train is leaving the station, folks. You can get the entire season with us. Over 100 plays, NFL and college football, for today for 50% off when you call in. Our number is 866-356-1232.
Yes, John Price with the Sports Information Traders. Again, you could get the entire football season 50% off, 866-356-1232. And we just talked about the win total over for the Birds. There is a game in college football you've got your eyes on, I've got my eyes on, and I think a lot of the country here has their eyes on Saturday between Michigan and Oklahoma. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, I know everybody's going to be watching it, so let's break it down. This line opened up at Oklahoma -1.5, -2. It's now Oklahoma -5.5. So the nation is riding the Sooners right now. At least that's what we're seeing. Oklahoma's got a new quarterback, John Mateer. He's going to be really fun to watch. He plays fast, fearless. He's like a little Brett Favre, a little gunslinger. He throws sidearm line drives all over the field, so he's fun to watch. They'll use quick tempo to try to move the ball early on Michigan. Michigan also has a new quarterback, Bryce Underwood. He's young, inexperienced, but we will see J.J. McCarthy-like passing numbers in Ann Arbor this year. They're always going to lean on their defense and running game to get things going, but Underwood gives them a legitimate deep threat. As far as the breakdown, both of these teams have talent to make this a great football game, but the one concern for me lies with the Sooners. Last week against Illinois, they rushed the ball 32 times for only 103 yards, and this week they face a much tougher Wolverines defense. If they can't run the ball, they're going to have trouble winning this game. So when I look at this thing, at the end of things, I think this is going to be a close football game. And actually, Michigan has a chance to win this game outright. So I'm taking the points, take Michigan +5.5 over Oklahoma. That will not be a private game. I want you on our private games on Saturday. We will have a couple Saturday and Sunday. They're yours if you're on board for the season. You can get that right now at 50% off, 866-356-1232. Or go to sportsinformationtraders.com and look for the tab that says JP's Philly Special. Everything starts tonight with two big plays in the Eagles-Cowboys game. You can buy those selections right there on our website without even speaking to somebody. Go to sportsinformationtraders.com. I just want to make one more point. There's a lot of companies out there that talk about big plays, and tonight are going to be two big ones. But management is also important. How many people listening to me right now make the drive over to Atlantic City, play blackjack, get up about $500, blink, and they're down $200? It's because you're not managing yourself in the moment. And that's what we do. That's part of our service. Getting the right plays is important, but managing our clients is how you yield the return. So we emphasize that. We are like a stockbroker where sports is concerned. So consider us 50% off for the season, sportsinformationtraders.com. Get on board right now. The train is leaving the station.
And that's John Price with Sports Information Traders. You get his entire football season for 50% off today. And remember, it all starts with his two big plays in tonight's Eagles-Cowboys game. Call him at 866-356-1232 or go to sportsinformationtraders.com. Thank you so much, John. Excited to have you on board for the season.
Can't wait. Can't wait for the Eagles game as well.
Can't wait for it as well. John, always good talking to you. We'll be talking to you next week.
All right, thank you.
John Price from sportsinformationtraders.com. Again, 866-356-1232 or go to sportsinformationtraders.com. Get his entire NFL season 50% off today. The Michigan plus 5.5. And he was, I felt like, he's coming on Philadelphia radio, pumping that win total for us. I thought for a second he was going to go under when he was like, tough road schedule. Teams will go 9-8. I was like, are you about to give me an under here? No. Nope, he was not. So again, sportsinformationtraders.com. Great to have John Price back with us through football season, giving us plays every single week. We'll be back to give you our viewpoints on this game tonight and a number of other things with this Eagles-Cowboys game. Watching America's game
last night.
Two things. One, a vision that I was given about tonight's game. And two,
a prophetic vision?
I was sitting there. I was like, wow. It wouldn't be something. Wouldn't it be something? And then
I'm excited to see what that
just the
prophetic
takeaway from watching Jalen Hurts in that, because he came off tremendously in that entire program last night. She's Amy Patullo. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The wait is finally over. I'm Sean Rodman, and we are now down to hours for Eagles versus Cowboys. Prior to the game, the Super Bowl 59 champions banner will be revealed at Lincoln Financial Field. Then the 2025 season kicks off. Tanner McKee is out tonight. Sam Howell will be at backup Jalen Hurts tonight. Landon Dickerson will play after he missed practice earlier in the week with a back injury. Other players on the injury report earlier in the week, such as Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter, all will play tonight. The Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs was a full participant at practice this week and does not have an injury designation, but according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, he's heard that Trevon Diggs will be on a pitch count as he returns from a knee surgery last December for a cartilage issue he had late in the season. SEPTA will run and express and local trains on the Broad Street line starting at halftime until 70 minutes after the game for those leaving from Lincoln Financial Field to head home into the city, thanks to a deal with FanDuel. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through the air.
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game, is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in, right? And the proof is in the pudding, right? The way that he's been able to lead his team, there are very few coaches in the history of the game that have accomplished what he has accomplished. And he's only been going for a few years, right? So when you think about it that way, he's done an amazing job. And he's still young, and he's fresh, and he has the ability to relate to the guys in the locker room. So I don't think he has to do any more proving anything. He's done it. Right now it's just about being consistent, getting the best out of the guys year in, year out. But he's proven that he's a coach that...
That's right. It's almost time to fly. Almost time for kickoff of the 2025 Eagles season. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking through the midday show today, and we're going to get back to the text line in a moment. Also, one more question for you coming up in this segment, just with regards to the Birds, and of course our question coming up for the Remember 1995 contest. That's giving away a $50 Primo gift card, so stay tuned for that. But I watched America's game last night. And it was a beautiful thing after I watched America's pastime, because the pastime was not fulfilling in the way of the Phillies game last night.
No.
It really bothered me. Won my softball game, then watched the Phillies game. No big deal to me. And then watched America's game. And there was the prophetic vision. I've been talking about this first touchdown thing with FanDuel that they're doing, which is tremendous.
Right. Yep.
I watched, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be something if they just handed it to Saquon? He took it to the house, and we're like, you know what? This party didn't just end last year. This is just a nonstop party for the rest of our lives. Like, just imagine the link if, like, Saquon were to house one for the first play of the game.
The stadium's already going to be off the hinges. Like, it'll be absolutely ridiculous.
I'm trying to work this out in my brain, but just the people at home. Let me talk to you really quick. Just think about this in your head. The ovation as that offense takes the field. Hurts then has to, hey, calm everybody down. We need to be able to hear, calm down. He starts giving out instructions, takes the snap, hands it right off to Saquon, and he just goes for 70 yards.
I'm here for it. 70 yards.
He just...
That is just like, can you imagine?
Outruns the entire Cowboys defense.
They're all turning and looking.
The camera broadcast cuts right up to Jerry Jones, who just days after saying they fixed their run defense, watches a 70-yard run to the end zone. It's 7-0 Eagles. Saquon's dancing around, doing that thing he did in the end zone after the run through the snow that he did all the time back at the swim that he did back at Penn State. And the link just absolutely erupts. And it just starts another beautiful football season here in Philadelphia. I was sitting there last night watching America's game, And I was like, wouldn't that just be beautiful? Wouldn't it just be tremendous for us to just live through that timeline?
I'm here for it. I hope
was
it's
thinking
prophetic.
I was thinking about it. But also what I was thinking about from that. And this is, we'll play this for you real quick, is Jalen Hurts talking about the dagger and talking about the lead up to that play where they end up just playing the game absolutely well with the Devontae Smith touchdown. Listen to Hurts talk about the dagger and what went into that play call.
I go to Coach Sirianni on Thursday practice, and I pretty much just give him this list. And I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know, you call these, something good's going to happen. And the dagger was on that. I go into the coach's office at halftime, and I get an opportunity to talk with him one-on-one, Coach Sirianni. And I say, hey, don't forget about the dagger. Don't forget about it.
He always has thrown that post really well. He saw it look good on tape, told it to us, we put it in, and he reminded us of it at halftime. Great thought process by Jalen, and that's what's so cool. You come up with these plays together. You talk through things for hours for a 5-second play. It is cool just to think about all the preparation that went into getting that call at the right time.
We score, I don't just call it.
I see the video of him saying, just call it, and it, that excites me. The confidence to call it, the execution, being able to put the dagger in the game and end it.
Just beautiful.
I just like how he's just call it. Just call it. Just, it's like he was thinking, just call it. Just do it. Make it happen.
Someone that's bothering you with like their indecisiveness.
Why am I talking
order
to
the
you?
chicken parm already. Order
Why am I
it.
still talking to you? Just call. I said it. Call it. I love that. Just do it. Right? No, we're good. We're good. Just do it. Okay, I got it.
It was like it to me also just in that moment. Like again, I think they talk a lot about just the preparation of Hurts and where he's at, and it's stuff that we don't see behind the curtain as football observers until it's brought to the light. But just like the level to which these guys are at in terms of what they want to do in the game, knowing when they want to do something in the game, and his persistence to get them to make that play call. Him being up 24 and still being like, we had 24 points at halftime before and lost. I need to be aggressive here. We need to throw the dagger. Him going to the locker room, or again, going to the office of the coach at halftime, being like, we still need to call that deep pass because we need to absolutely crush them and end any hopes for them is awesome.
I think
it's
that's
the mentality that I love to see out of the quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I wanted to remind you, we have this play that we will absolutely bury this team in.
Mm-hmm.
No chance. And the game was over. It was as soon as it truly was the dagger in the heart of the Chiefs' three-peat or whatever nonsense.
All right, coming up, we got Olivia Reiner from the Inquirer joining us in the next segment. Quickly, and this will be one that you have quite a bit of time to think about.
Oh, do I need
one
to
more for Remember 1995 here. So for the people out there, 610-632-0975. Text your answer to the text line, 610-632-0975. Our Remember 1995 game, because it was 30 years ago, that was 1995, and also the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. The 76ers in 1995 selected a player third overall out of UNC, ahead of the hometown kid from UNC, Rasheed Wallace, and ahead of Kevin Garnett. Those were the next two picks. Who was that player third overall in the 1995 draft? 610-632-0975. The first correct answer to the text line entered to win the $50 Primo gift card. Sean Rodman.
Yes.
What do you got?
You want the answer now, or do you want me to?
Yes, I want your answer right now.
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter played. I'm sorry.
You say UNC, right?
Yes, the Sixers selected with the
Sixers. I missed the first part.
Like,
it's Jerry Stackhouse.
Play for the Sixers. That was amazing.
I missed the Sixers part. That's on me. That's
also,
on me.
It's a completely different year.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a walk after this
you
one.
need to go.
Well, you also got to call up Olivia Reiner. Just coming up next for us here on the Midday Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's game day, Philadelphia. I'm Sean Rodman, and Eagles Cowboys for the season opener is finally here. The banner will be revealed prior to tonight's game. Only one player has been ruled out for the Eagles, and that's Tanner McKee. Did not practice this week. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice early in the week, does not have an injury designation and is good to go. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, and Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report this week. All will play as well. SEPTA has announced the normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run refund for when you leave tonight's game thanks to a deal with FanDuel. It starts at halftime. That includes the local and express lanes and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phillies fall last night with a poor start from Aaron Nola. The Phillies look to win the series today against the Brewers with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phils and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence in iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced
Well,
through
it
the air.
depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one, right? I think he's just continued to learn and grow and thrive in his role as a communicator, as a leader, as a guy that the locker room believes in, right? And the proof is in the pudding.
WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the midday show. And here with us on the Comcast Business Hotline, someone I always enjoy talking Eagles football with, does a tremendous job covering this team for the Philadelphia Inquirer. It is the one and only Olivia Reiner. Olivia, how are you doing on this opening day?
I'm doing. Oh, thanks, Ray. No, I'm always happy to chat with you. I can't believe it is week one. It feels like there's been so much anticipation leading up to this day, and finally we're here. It's good to be here.
We survived the conversations about the 53-man roster. We survived the conversations about what preseason means. It's a beautiful thing to see. And today I want to start the conversation, kind of pick up where we left off the last time I talked with you about Jalen Hurts, about the biggest takeaway you had from camp being just the confidence, the conviction he has in himself. I want to go to a story you wrote for the Inquirer about what makes Jalen Hurts special and dive into what you were able to get from that locker room, talking about Hurts, the quarterback, and where he's improved over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think talking to his teammates over the last few weeks about him and even one of his former teammates at Oklahoma, they really hammered home something that, you and I talked about just a few weeks ago, is just the fact that Hurts is really the same person no matter what is going on, whether he's coming off of a loss, whether he is coming off of a win, whether he's coming off of a Super Bowl loss, a Super Bowl win. He has the exact same approach to the day-to-day. And really, that approach is wanting to improve, wanting to get better. There's so many uncertainties about what the Eagles are going to face this upcoming season. We obviously know that this was a really talented offense last season. It was a really talented rushing offense last season. But the big question is, what is the offense going to look like in 2025? Can they have as much success running the ball as they did last year with Saquon Barkley leading the way? We don't know yet. And to be honest with you, the Eagles don't know that question yet because they don't know exactly how defenses are going to attempt to adjust to them. The big question is, can Jalen Hurts do what it takes to win? And the reason why a lot of his current teammates and even his former teammate from Oklahoma, and just observing and having known him and having played with him, is the fact that this is someone who is always willing to grow, willing to evolve, and as he says, someone who keeps the main thing, keeps winning at the forefront. It is not about him necessarily. It is not about ego. It is about the team and doing what the team needs to win. In my conversations with those teammates, that was the overarching theme, is that this is someone who's so focused on the details and wanting to improve, wanting to evolve his own game, and wanting to evolve the offense as well, knowing that what the offense looks like tonight in Week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys isn't necessarily what it's going to look like in Week 10 against the Green Bay Packers. I think that if there's any reason for fans just to be encouraged by the team and the trajectory that this team will take with Jalen Hurts as their starting quarterback, it's the fact that he has this unyielding passion and this unyielding desire to continue to improve his own game.
Hey, Olivia, I want to go to something you guys made your predictions for week 1, and I think Matt Breen had something that's a little bit more what I would pick, but yours is a little bit more like what Ray would pick, and it's a little bit, maybe it's going to be a lot closer than, or not, a little bit closer than people think. Eagles still win, but it's probably not going to be double-digit blowout. They're not going to come out and just run roughshod all over the Cowboys just because Micah Parsons isn't there. Do you think that's more of underestimating what the Cowboys can do against the Eagles secondary, or that there's going to be a little bit of just kind of testing out the waters, getting everything kind of to gel for the Eagles as a whole?
Yes to all of the above.
Yeah.
I think in particular, this is a Cowboys team that is getting back Dak Prescott, and the Eagles, when they played them twice last season, did not face Prescott at all. He was still injured. He was injured, and now he's back. He's healthy. And not only is he back and healthy, but he also has a few really talented receivers. In particular, he's got a brand new receiver in George Pickens. So I think there is a lot to address when it comes to that Cowboys passing attack. There's still some questions on the Cowboys offense, though. I think the offensive line has been shaky at times. Their rushing attack is questionable, and they've made some efforts in the offseason to retool that. So there's some unknowns on that side of the ball. But at the end of the day, this is still the Eagles. This is still a really talented team, even though they have undergone some changes in the offseason. And you're right, Amy. I had the Eagles winning 27-20 in this game. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I personally am not expecting a blowout, but we'll see how the chips fall.
Neither am I, but you and I might be out on the island
Matt
right
Breen
here.
and I'll call you tomorrow, and we'll call you, Olivia, and Ray, and flaunt it.
What does Matt have?
Matt's got 34-10.
Okay, so I will say Matt did back in the 2020, leading into the 2024 season, had a 14-win season, and I was a part of a group on the air that laughed at him for that, and then he ended up being ahead of the curve. So, hey, I'll put my hands up if I'm wrong.
I don't know if it's 34-10, but I like where Matt's headed. But I think Olivia, I think that there's a really good point, because this is a team that obviously, they're not a complete disaster, even though we want the Cowboys, right, to be a complete disaster.
Right.
I will say, Olivia, I want to get your perspective as someone that was in that room and obviously covers this team so close. As Nick Sirianni says that it's, I didn't know it was banner night. When you get the feel of what's going on inside of NovaCare, we all sit there and call bull on that one, that he didn't know it was banner night. But it's obviously the mentality that they have put into this team. How have they adapted that as a group?
Yeah, I just want to be clear, and I was not covering the team the last time they won the Super Bowl, but from what I understand from, talking to Zach Berman, who writes for The Athletic, he was emphasizing and saying to, I know, our media corps in the aftermath of Nick Sirianni making that comment, well, Eagles weren't out for the last banner ceremony. It's just simply not when the Eagles would be on the field for their pregame routine is when they did that last year. Evidently, it's going to be the same situation this year. That said, if the Eagles really wanted to be on the field for that ceremony, if Nick Sirianni really wanted his team to be a part of that ceremony, do you think they could make it happen? Yeah, probably. But do I believe that Nick Sirianni didn't know it was banner night? I don't know. I don't know about that. But at the end of the day, yeah, that is the mentality, the message that Nick Sirianni has been emphasizing to his team this summer, this entire offseason, is that we're not using the word repeat around here. We are firmly focused on the 2025 season. We're not looking behind. We're looking ahead, and we're not looking too far ahead into the future where we can't control what's going to happen in February. We can only control what's going to happen right now. And so their focus has been very much in the present. Jordan Mailata said this summer, he said, we're not defending anything, and he didn't use the word anything. He used something a little bit more crass, but you can really tell that this is a message that the team has taken really well to. It's a message that continues to kind of trickle down from Sirianni to everybody else. And it's just another example of Sirianni being able to resonate with this team, and evolve his messaging too. We hear him use some of the same phrases over and over again, but we also hear him find new ways to say the same phrases over and over again, and this is just kind of one of those situations.
Last year we saw some rookies really contribute in a big way. Obviously, Cooper DeJean, slow out of the gates after missing some time during training camp, but obviously, finished tremendously well. Quinyon Mitchell, halfway through the season, became a shutdown. They just stopped throwing over to his side, which is remarkable. I read a great story with Jahad Campbell and his grandfather, and that I loved seeing that I love the slice of life, and I love that you kind of get a little deep dive into his background. But he's a player that I've really enjoyed watching during training camp and some of the practices. He's a guy that you would think would be the next rookie to kind of get out there and try to contribute in a big way. And I know that they list him as a linebacker, but it seems like he's a perfect guy to come up. Where do they foresee him kind of playing out? Is it more like we're going to put you at linebacker and then sometimes we'll rotate you over, or we're just going to put you out there because you're such a tremendous athlete?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I think right now the Eagles he is an inside linebacker at the moment. And an inside linebacker can mean a lot of different things. I think the reason, back in June we spoke to Vic Fangio about this, and he said that he wanted Campbell to come in and learn the inside linebacker position because there is the most to learn at that spot in this defense. It will give him a really good foundation for the defense just in general, because he'll have so many responsibilities in that particular role. Now, we saw Zach Vaughn last season quite often. He wasn't just lining up in the middle of the field. They would walk him down to the line of scrimmage where sometimes he would rush the passes or sometimes he would drop into coverage. It just all kind of depended on what the particular moment called for. And I think during training camp, we've seen Jahad Campbell take some reps in a similar look. So you've got two very versatile players potentially in the middle of the field in Vic Fangio's defense. That's a really big benefit for a defensive coordinator when you can have these two players line up in a number of different spots, execute a number of different tasks, and confuse an offense pre-snap about what it is that they might be doing because they can do so many different things in so many different places. So I think I'm really excited to see the trajectory of Jahad Campbell's career and to see what he's able to do in this defense and how immediate he is able to make an impact. We'll see if he starts there tonight, but the way that things were trending in training camp, it seemed like he was most likely to start, but Jeremiah Trotter Jr. also had a really strong camp as well. So they're two great contenders. But I mean, there's a lot to like about Campbell. He's physical. He's big. He's fast. It's just a matter of does he have a good handle on the defense at this point in his career.
Well, we're excited to see the coverage tonight from you, Olivia. Always
Thanks,
great
Olivia.
talking with you. I know you got 27-20 as the score. Anything else you think we're seeing tonight outside of just the score?
Whew, what else are we? It's a good question. I think we're going to see some potential new starters, obviously, with maybe Adoree Jackson possibly at that outside cornerback spot opposite Quinion Mitchell, Sidney Brown at safety next to Reed Blankenship. So I'm really excited to see how those guys, if it ends up being those guys, it's how they fare and if they are going to be the long-term answers at that spot. I know that's been a big question for this team throughout training camp is how those guys, if they would be able to step up and win those battles. And it seems like I said, that these guys have kind of been trending in that direction as training camp has continued. And I think tonight is a big test, a big first step for them in those roles.
All right, we'll be following along. Look forward to reading everything you got on the Inquirer. Always great talking with you, Olivia.
Of course, anytime.
It's Olivia Reiner of the Philadelphia Inquirer, and you can experience the new look of Inquirer Sports, where fans can read, watch, and listen to their favorite reporters and columnists. Go to inquirer.com/sports. So coming up, we'll get you the next contestant, the next entry into our $50 Primo gift card. Yeah, I'm going to let you know who is the next. I'll let you know coming up. And then we got another question for you. And we're going to have to bid you adieu very soon.
Yes.
You got Phillies duty today.
Phillies duty.
And you have to go to the chaos of South Philadelphia. So we'll get to all that. And we'll give some more thoughts on this game tonight as we look towards the matchup between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Want to know by the time we get here at 10 o'clock tomorrow. She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think they're going to be teams that study what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced
Well,
through
it
the air.
depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game, is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead? Olivia Reiner for joining us there in that last segment from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Always love catching up with her and talking Eagles football. I realize I have the pregame show still to go, and I still have to get down to South Philadelphia to see my good friends that I'm filtered. And by my good friends, I mean Ricky Patullo and Salciunas Kelleher. Looking forward to seeing them down there in South Philadelphia from 2 to 6
you haven't talked
today.
to Bill.
And actually, I think Jen Scorda is also going to be down there.
Oh,
so
great.
I'm going to get to see
she is.
3 of my great friends down there from 2 to 6 with Unfiltered today at the Chicks and Pizza in South Philly. And then I have pregame. And then the game starts.
And
so
then the
I am
game.
not at all close to being done for the day.
No.
I have multiple
this
programs.
Is your appetizer.
You also have Phillies duty with NBC Sports Phillies. So you've got other work
It's
to
a
do.
great way to start your Eagles viewing experience.
I
with
hope.
the Phillies win.
Yes, with the Phillies win. I hope. I also thought last night I enjoyed it a little bit more than I did, but I didn't. I have to say, though, as we get close to the end of the show, I'm just getting fired up for the game. Like, I just feel myself
It's
getting
so much closer. The lots are getting ready to open down there.
You know how I said at 10 o'clock, like, I have these, like, concerns now, and we open the show with the idea whether it's just first game jitters or it's actual real-life problems for the Eagles, and I'm just more like it's just the first game. I just kind of want to see it out there on the field so that what I think I know, I actually know. I said, yeah, I can have that right now, but by the time we get to, like, 7 o'clock, it's going to be the old Go Birds, and I'm just going to be
already
ready to go.
there.
Yeah,
You know it's already there.
I just feel the energy taking over.
It's already
from me.
there.
Like, I'm ready. I'm like Dawkins coming out of the tunnel right now. I'm just ready to, I'm not crawling around the floor here yet, but yeah, they do a pretty good job cleaning up around here. Yeah, I'd feel okay. But that's the feeling I have right now. Just getting ready to get going. I want to get some text in here. We're going to get to the phone lines in a second. I know our Remember 1995 contest, we got our latest entry into it with the Jerry Stackhouse answer for the 95 draft, the 3rd overall pick for the Sixers that year. Who got that one correct?
That would be Andy from Lambertville.
Oh, our buddy
Well done.
Andy.
Well done.
Andrew from the old YouTube chat using the text line as well. How about Andy? Good for him. All right. What do we got on the text line in terms of this game tonight?
Well, one person just texting in, no name here on this one, but just a quick, short message. I think all Eagles fans would reiterate. Dallas sucks. Go Birds.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's been kind of the running analysis from most people we've talked to.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. It's concise.
It's concise.
It conveys your point. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, I was at the bus stop this morning. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Yeah.
I was at Wawa earlier. Go Birds for a couple people as well.
Well, the Dallas sucks part is really the one where I think that's the analysis we've gotten today.
Yes.
Where it's like, yeah, but like, are they going to lose to Dallas on the night that they reveal the banner?
No.
No.
I do have someone that's a little bit.
All right. Now this is what I'm interested in hearing here.
So not necessarily saying that this person, because Chris from Philly checking in says he's worried that Pickens may have a nice game on us. Doesn't say that he thinks he'll lose, but he's worried about George Pickens going up against, I guess.
Because Quinyon Mitchell can't cover the entire secondary. He can try, and we appreciate that for him. So I think there is. Listen, I was not at any training camps. I didn't watch anything from the Dallas Cowboys training camp. I didn't watch any of those training camps or practices. Maybe George Pickens becomes the guy that he's supposed to be the guy. He has some issues between the ears for me, and he doesn't act like a professional, and I think that's something you've seen. He came from a professional organization, and he's going to a circus. Okay. Sure. Maybe. He's a very talented receiver.
Very talented against Dory Jackson. That's more my concern there. And also Sidney Brown. If Brown is going to bite on anything, I'd be worried. That's the one thing. That's one thing that sticks out. If the game gets turned on its head. Also, one little thing that is bothering me we haven't got to today, Turpin and their return game. With this new kickoff rule where you're going to bring it all the way out to the 35. They're going to have to kick to him.
Yes.
I don't know what the coverage is going to look like this year. I should have had a conversation. I saw football guy Andrew DeCecco here earlier. I should have broke down the special teams with him. But that would be one thing where it's like, could the game turn on something like that? I don't know what the special teams is going to be. There's 3 phases to the game, Amy. You got to care about all of them. As a football guy, I do.
I think
we'll be airing Michael Clay's presser this week if there's something bad that happens.
Yeah, that's the thing. You care about special teams when something bad happens.
Right. We will air his presser if something bad happens. I will promise you that. All right, we got a text on City Brown.
Yes, we do. And this person is Big Leo checking in, says, "Go Birds." I don't know why, but I have a feeling that Sidney Brown is going to force a turnover, force fumble with a big hit or an interception that was thrown deep. Don't sleep on him.
Would love that turn of events for him to do that for us. Let's go to the phone lines at 610-632-0975. Talk to our truck driver, Reggie, out on the road, currently in Utah, checking in on the game. What's up, Reggie?
Morning, Ray, Amy. How are you?
Hello.
Doing well. How about yourself?
Hello.
All right. I have a very good observation. So you said we're celebrating the fact that it's been 30 years since the Cowboys has won a Super Bowl. Why would their fans buy flat screen TVs and they've never watched them play? Yeah. I agree with what Jordan Malata said. We're not defending. I would think we are going for another.
Mm-hmm.
I like that better than we're defending. We are going for another.
Yeah, it's a mentality I think they've all
like a fresh start type of vibe.
adopted at this point. I'm curious, Reggie, instead of the big picture, what are you looking for from tonight?
I would think 30 to I'm going to say 17. 30 to 17.
Okay.
All right.
I'm looking, 30-17, a couple of turnovers, and a long run. Also, the Carnival Parker, Jerry Jones, said about the trade that they have a better chance at getting better. Now, why would people drop those words and say that they are better trading? They're not. He said, his words, we have a better chance at getting better. That's in the future sometime, whatever.
Reggie, I can answer that for you, and we appreciate you making the phone call. Drive safe. Watch. I don't know. I guess where in Utah you're going to watch it tonight, but make sure you get a chance to stop by and watch that game. But I have the answer for you right there. It is the Family Guy episode where it could either be a boat or a mystery box, because the mystery box could be the boat, but it could be a boat, but it also could be something else. That's what it is. You have a better chance to get better. It's the mystery box.
The idea was, and the quote was like, hey, we could turn him into some seriously valuable assets. The problem with that theory is the first round picks you're getting, you didn't trade him to the Browns.
Right.
You didn't trade him to the Giants. You didn't trade him to the Panthers or the Titans. You traded him to the Packers.
And
so those first round picks are not going to be high first round picks.
And you got a defensive tackle that's 30.
So you have a guy that's an older. It's not to say you can't get still good players in return, but better than a guy that's 20. Dallas as a city traded 2 25, 26-year-old all world players. It's just hilarious.
All right.
Well done.
Remember 1995?
Yes.
All right, we're giving away a $50 Primo gift card. If you get the answer to the text line at 610-632-0975 first and correct, then you are entered to win the gift card. You're going up against Sean Rodman, who had a hot 2-for-3 start and has gone cold since.
Off.
It's been very difficult to.
I'm going to make
Vince
sure I'm.
Carter one is going to live in infamy.
Yeah,
I know it's going to live in infamy. I was back here doing something else at the same time, missed the Sixers
All right.
card, and that's on me.
610-632-0975. The question here, in the 1995-96 season of primetime television, this NBC program was the top-rated across television. NBC program, 1995-96 season, the primetime television series with the highest rating, according to Nielsen, was this. 610-632-0975. No shot.
No.
You are getting this one right.
There's no way, right?
There's no way I'm getting this right.
Correct. Go ahead.
NBC, you said?
NBC program.
What is it on? Was it on Fridays?
It was
No,
on.
that doesn't help me. What day of the week
No, that
does
was
not
ABC
help?
was TGIF.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I need an answer. Sean Robbins.
Guess a show.
Guess a show? I don't even know if it was still running in 95. That's my problem. Seinfeld.
You didn't think you think it was over?
Seinfeld was still on the air. It was the second rated show that year.
Really?
What would you think, Amy Fadul? I was shocked by this, by the way.
I see when
Home
Improvement was number 7. That's an ABC show.
ABC. Oh, was it ER?
It was ER. That's the correct answer. First one to get that one at 610-632-0975 entered to win our gift card here for the Primo's Hoagies. All right, Amy.
Oh, thanks everyone. Thanks for having me.
Good seeing you.
So I have to duck out a little early.
See you
but
tomorrow.
I'll see you guys tomorrow after a big win, 1-0.
1-0. For the next half hour, Sean Rodman and I will try not to kill one another in anticipation of tonight's game. Birds, boys, we got more coming your way next on the Midday Show.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
It's game day, Philadelphia. I'm Sean Rodman, and Eagles Cowboys are just 7 hours away. About that, maybe a couple seconds here and there, and the banner will be revealed prior to tonight's game. Only one player has been ruled out for the Birds, and that is Tanner McKee. He did not practice this week as he recovers from a fractured thumb on his throwing hand. Landon Dickerson, after missing practice early in the week, is good to go. No injury designation for him. Joshua Uche, Drew Makuba, Jalen Carter all popped up on the injury report this week, and all will play as well. SEPTA has announced that the normal game day trains on the Broad Street line will run for when you leave the game tonight. Thanks to a deal with FanDuel, it starts at halftime, and that includes the local and express lanes, and will end 70 minutes after the game. Phils fall last night from a poor start from Aaron Nola. Phillies look to win the World Series, not the World Series, but the series today against the Brewers, with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phils and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. First pitch is at 4:10. This update is also brought to you by AAA and Auto Service. Save up to $30 on auto repair with the AAA Triple Play, only at AAA Tire and Auto Service. Offer valid through September 13th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 TheFanatic.com.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful. in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that studied what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through
Well, it
the
depends
air.
on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. What are your impressions more of the leadership that Nick Sirianni has, and what what it looks like to watch him lead this group following last season?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the same. You know, I love Coach Sirianni. The thing I love about him is that he hasn't changed because people thought he should change. And that goes from day one. Right?
It's in South Philadelphia. Around 3 o'clock, I will make my way down there. Hi, I'm Ray Dunn, taking through middays. Appreciate Amy Fadula, as always, for hanging out with us. She had to get over to NBC Sports Philly for some Phillies afternoon action today. Hopefully, they're able to take the series from the Brewers. If there was ever a time for them to drop a series, I guess for them, in terms of what we're talking about, that would probably be that. But I hope they don't. I hope they take the 2 or 3 there. I see our guy Matt Menarek out there right now, chowing down a little Primo Hoagies action. Primo Hoagies, got to thank them, one, for dropping off the tray today. Just a strong move for the first day of the NFL season. But today and every Thursday during this football season from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., all Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. See PrimoHoagies.com for full details. I am one of those Perks members, and I now know that I have Thursday night football plans going forward because I'm going to go take advantage of that 10% off deal. Today, our game, Remember 1995, is a play off the fact it's been 3 decades since the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl. And we are reliving things from the last time they won a Super Bowl. And right now, the 2 people on the air with you, not around for that. So it's really a lot of fun to try and remember 1995. Because if you get the question right, you're entered to win the $50 Primo gift card from our 1995 trivia. Tonight, the Cowboys have to watch the Eagles reveal another championship banner at the link. Looking forward to that. And our correct answer for the number 1 rated show in the 95-96 primetime television season that went alongside that NFL season was ER. And who is now entered for that $50 gift card?
There'll be Adam from Lansdale.
One more question coming up for you in that sweepstakes. I want to go to the phones here. Get excited for the game with Arthur in Scottsdale. Arthur, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yo, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Arthur. How are you?
I kind of say, yo, brother, it's not like the Sunshine State. The sun never goes away in Scottsdale.
It's beautiful out there, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. Right next to the Phoenix Open. You can't get a better life. Golfing every day. What can you talk about? Now, let's get down to this. Listen, you're not a baseball town. You don't care about your Phillies.
Stop it. Stop it.
That's a fact.
No, it's not. Arthur, I know your shtick here. I know your game here. I'm going to battle back with you on this one. Don't you come after the baseball team. Get me to the football point for today.
No, hold on. You know, listen, Boston is a baseball town. Fact. New York is a baseball town. And Philly is a football town. Why don't you just concur and agree with me instead of giving me a hard way to go?
It's a sports town here.
Incorrect, but I'll let you go. Yeah, listen, my favorite team is the New York Giants. And my second favorite team is anybody playing the Eagles. So I'm the biggest Dallas Cowboy fan there is today. Don't start stuttering now, brother.
No, I'm just letting you go. This is going to be the highlight of your day. I'm just letting you have this right now. This is.
I appreciate.
And if the Cowboys were to win tonight, it'd be the highlight of your football season as a Giants fan, which is a weird thing to say. But wait, I want to know from you, Arthur. You got more than 5 wins on the Giants' schedule this year?
Maybe 6.
Maybe 6. All right. So this call right now.
6.
Is this the best that your football season gets today making this phone call?
Correct. Absolutely, brother. And I appreciate you making my day because, to upset Eagle fans, it's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, you're not upsetting me, man. I'm good. I got a football season to look forward to. You don't, but I do.
Listen to me. Okay, listen. I know. Listen, if it's going to come down to turnovers and special teams tonight, and the game is going to be closer than 3 points. That's what I'm saying.
Close to 3 points.
That's going to be tight, brother. It's division.
I said it was going to be a close game.
I really hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but I hate the Eagles more. You know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, recent memory, there's one that's been winning Super Bowls, and there's one that's just been eliminated the playoffs when they get there. I get you. I understand why you'd hate the Eagles more nowadays.
This ain't personal. This is business. So nobody's got to get hurt.
Yeah, nobody's got to get hurt of this. I want to ask you real quick, how you feeling about the New York baseball scene?
Yeah, going to be honest with you, no, not going to win it. How's that? See, I love the Yankees, but no, can't beat the Dodgers. Ain't going to win it.
Yeah.
How's that?
Arthur, I'm sorry you're having such a tough fall.
Yeah, listen, it's just the way it is.
Enjoy the sunshine out there in Scottsdale. Enjoy the sunshine out there because you don't have anything to enjoy football season-wise, and baseball doesn't look like you're going to get it done. Oh, we haven't heard from Arthur in a minute.
No, we have not.
I haven't heard from Arthur in a minute.
Just his drops that we like to play.
Yeah, no, I thought he was going to give me a little, I have to give you, he never really gives you credit on this, but I thought maybe today he'd come in and say that he hates the Cowboys and he would try and, forge a little bit of a bond here.
I thought that's where we were going,
I thought that's where we were going, too. I saw what we had up on there as the comment under his call, but he tried the bait and switch there, and he failed. But it was good to talk with him. Yeah, good to talk with him. Get that hate out of the way. You listen to Arthur there. The entire NFL is against this city, okay? Everyone is starting to hate us because we keep winning. Let that fuel your joy for tonight. I just added 2 more points to the victory total, to the margin of victory tonight, just because I listened to that call. You know what? Screw him. We're gonna win this one. Maybe we'll get to double digits on this one. Listen to him say, it's gonna be closer than 3 points. Come on, Arthur. All right. One more 1995 question for you. All right?
Let's do it.
One more 1995 question for you. We're gonna go back to the Billboard 100.
Oh, great.
From that. Oh, all right. Fine. What do you want?
Surprise me. I'm going to get the Billboard one wrong.
All right. Fine. I thought I was going to give you an easy one, but you.
All right, dude, give me the Billboard one if you think it's easy. All right, we'll see.
I'm not going to give you that now. Now, if you want to make me change the way I was going to go about this, that's perfectly fine. I will give you a different. All right. 1995 trivia. The game is Remember 1995 because Cowboys fans have to remember it because that's the last time they won a Super Bowl. If the year was 1995, let's see. Let's go down this. Okay. What popular gaming console was released by Sony in North America in 1995?
By Sony?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with the PlayStation.
First person to get PlayStation 2, the text line 610-632-0975 will have themselves entered for the $50 Primo gift card. We will reveal the winner in our final segment coming up next. Plus, get your text in there, 610-632-0975. What you expect to happen tonight. Our final predictions, takeaways for tonight's game coming up. This is the Midday Show. I'm Ray Dunn here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engage.
Is there any doubt, Ricky, in your mind that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, no matter how it looks like?
No, he doesn't care. There are certain guys out there that are prima donnas that need to throw for 4,500 yards. He's not like that. You know what he looks at? What's my win-loss record?
That's it, man.
What did we do last week? What did we do? What did we do in the Super Bowl? That's all he cares about.
The main thing.
That is the main thing. Winning in football is the main thing.
But that's why I get so frustrated. All that should matter is that this guy wins at an unprecedented clip. And he's the perfect quarterback for this city, for this fan base, for this team. He is going to do whatever it takes to win games, and he doesn't care how it looks. I can't believe that this guy continues to get disrespected by some people, national media, local media, when all he does is win football games. And when the time has come where they've needed to rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, he's delivered. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did everything in their power to take Saquon out of that game, and they were successful in taking Saquon out of that game. Jalen beat him with his arm. In the biggest moment of his career prior to Super Bowl 59, it would have been Super Bowl 57. Jalen delivered in that Super Bowl, threw for over 300 yards. This guy does what it takes to win. Doesn't care about stats. I love it, man.
You think there are going to be teams that studied what the Chiefs did?
Yeah.
The only thing is about how to sell out to stop the run. The only thing I say to that is that then they're going to get trounced through
Well, it depends on who your corners are. Look, there's a reason why all these summertime lists of executives, not Fox analysts, CBS, ESPN,
Correct.
executives, coaches, GMs in the NFL, still put Jalen Hurts at like 9, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP. Because there's a certain way that these guys feel about Jalen Hurts. So I would not be surprised if we see a game where teams sell out to stop the run if they have a good enough secondary.
Today we're talking about the idea of the Eagles repeating and what it would take for the Eagles to repeat. And it's off the idea that Diana Rossini put out on her podcast that Jalen Hurts, that elevated confidence, the conviction in his game is the reason why she believes the Eagles won't have a Super Bowl hangover. And he has to be a driving force of an offense that is more balanced, an offense that has a more in-rhythm passing game. To me, those would be the driving factors to see this team repeat. It has to be offensively. Defensively, I believe in Vic Fangio, but for them to strike gold back-to-back seasons the way they have, replacing all that talent on the defensive end, it's time for the guys that make all the money, and that's pretty much all on the offensive side of the football, to drive this team to success. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in that NFC Championship game, just how potent that offense can be. They put together something, obviously not 40 points, 55 points a game, but they put up something offensively that is as dynamic as that all season long, and that's why we're talking about another parade. On the opener for the Birds, your Super Bowl champion Birds, the reigning Super Bowl champions, get a chance to see the banner tonight at Lincoln Financial Field and get a chance to beat the Cowboys today. And I'm just fired up for the fact that we're getting so close to kickoff. We are now within 7 hours. Get close to that 6-hour mark. I'm just getting excited. I'm going to go down to South Philadelphia, hang out with Unfiltered around the 3 o'clock time today. Obviously, they got Andrew DeCecco coming up at the 2 o'clock hour. He is going to be decked out in his press box attire. Looking forward to seeing him down in Chickies and Pete's, get to see the group down there. I'll be back here for pregame to get you set for the game with Connor Thomas at 6 o'clock, and that's what we've been trying to do all day long, get you set for Eagles and Cowboys. We're going to get to the phones and the text line in a second here at 610-632-0975. But to reset where we've been and give you pretty much the synopsis of the way I feel for tonight. Tonight is not the type of game, and the Cowboys are not the type of opponent where I look at the two teams on paper and I say this is an even talent matchup. Tonight, the only reason I have cause for concern for what would happen is because of the first game of the season. Because I believe I know what I know with this team. I believe I'm aware where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are, and what they need to do. I just need to see it all put into practice for the first time. The first time with a new offensive coordinator. The first time for a number of guys on the defensive side of the field for this team. I just need to see it put into practice against a team that, again, if you don't have it all put together against them, they can make it interesting. I don't anticipate them winning this football game, them being the Cowboys. I anticipate the Eagles winning this game. Cowboys might cover a pretty healthy 8.5-point spread, but I anticipate the Eagles winning this football game. The concerns are more just the first game, ironing out some of the problems. Tomorrow, I anticipate a conversation more about style points than I do about what went wrong in a loss. That's more where I see this conversation going tomorrow. And I was curious for you where concern might lie, whether it was the actual problems this team might have or just knocking off some of the rust in week one against this Cowboys team. That's where I started today. As we've continued on throughout the day today, a number of things that stick out to me. One, the discipline of Sidney Brown out there at safety. Getting start at safety. He is an explosive player. He can make big plays. I just don't want to see him hunt the big play to the point of the detriment of this team where he gets caught taking a step in on a potential deep ball to George Pickens, whether it is a tackle and then something's created there for the Cowboys. A lot on his plate back there in that secondary. I'll feel a lot better for this team when I learn who else is going to step up inside that secondary for this Eagles group outside of obviously what we know in the known commands of Mitchell DeJean and Reed Blankenship. I'd love to see either that second corner or that second safety calm my concerns back there in that group for the secondary. And on the offensive side of things, Devontae Smith, 6 touchdowns in his last 6 games against the Cowboys. Can that continue tonight? Banged up secondary, especially the reserves there for the corners for the Cowboys. Will they be able to exploit that? Will they be able to beat a Cowboys secondary less than 100%? And also a Cowboys team that's pass rush took a massive hit by trading away Micah Parsons. Is it a big night for Devontae Smith? Someone I'm keen in on. And again, this run defense for the Cowboys was terrible last year, and I don't think it's gotten that much better. Saquon Barkley, can he have himself another big game? Those are some of the things I laid out for you today alongside Amy Fadul. Had a tremendous time. Amy's got the first touchdown of the season going to Jalen Hurts on a tush push. I'll sign up for it. I mean, I think that crowd's going to go nuts when the tush push happens for the first time just because of the energy of this offseason, talk about whether or not it should be banned. So I'm excited to see that. But let's get to our text line, some of the texts about the game. Here on this one, what do you got for me,
Yeah,
Sean?
first up, one person checking in saying, my biggest worry is that Jake Elliott misses a 52-yarder, and we failed to go up 48-17 late in the fourth quarter. Dallas sucks. Go Birds.
I love it. I love it. All right. Concerned about, that'll be it tomorrow. They win 48-17, I come on the air. I was warning you about Jake Elliott in the preseason. I can't believe we still got that guy back. Yeah, all right. I like that. 48-17, give me the blowout win. I don't have it that way, but I appreciate the energy from that person. What else we got?
Another person checking in, Sean from San Diego, California. Quinyon Mitchell is absolutely locking CeeDee Lamb up tonight for under 50 yards.
Ooh, all right. Like that. If you're going with the props, I mean, you probably get a decent value on under 50. What else are we looking at?
All right. I want to go back to earlier in the conversation. We talked about kind of nicknames for fan bases and players and stuff like that because Quinn checked in with a score prediction and a nickname for Jalen Hurts. Instead of he should be the Hurts locker, like the movie. Fans are in the Hurts locker.
Yeah.
His score prediction, anyways, 33-17. Go Birds.
Love it. I love the end of the Go Birds. Every single text. I was hoping we'd get one in. Steve from Lansdale was trying to get in with us on the phone. I was going to try and grab him before we get out of here and get the prediction there from a number of people. But this is, I mentioned this earlier. We played the audio from Torrey Smith, and we had Torrey Smith on yesterday talking about a number of things. Just talk about how spoiled the young fan base is, that they've seen so much success from the Eagles, and they have become one of the preeminent, if not the premier NFC franchise, at least, of the 21st century in the NFL. But I am so excited tonight for the older generation that lived through the no rings jokes, that lived through the Cowboys winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, the NFC East being a place where Super Bowl champions resided, except for the Philadelphia Eagles. I am so excited for that older generation today. And older, I don't mean to try and date you, make you feel old, but that generation that lived through the Cowboys being a viable Super Bowl contender and lived through them winning those Super Bowls, getting a chance to look, see that banner revealed at Lincoln Financial Field, and then watch this team enter the season as a contender once again against the Cowboys team that's just in utter chaos right now. And getting to enjoy the fact that Cowboys fans have to watch and sit through that as we get ready for the game. I am just so happy for you, the fan base of the generation older than me, that you get to have that experience tonight after all you went through, because we're spoiled. Younger generation spoiled this one. I'm happy for you in that sense that tonight's going to be that. And I am excited to see just all the pageantry surrounding what goes on today at the field, at the complex, because all the people are fired up. And now we got our good friends at FanDuel taking care of everyone where people go down tailgate, be able to get back Broad Street line. This is going to be a good one tonight. My final prediction, I'm going to give you the score, and maybe I'll throw a little prop in there for you. The score tonight for the Eagles and the Cowboys. I have this one at a 30-24 victory for the Eagles. I will say that 24 for the Cowboys, I think, happens a little bit later in the game. I think there's a little bit of a difference there between the two. Like, the Eagles might break it open that second half, and then a backdoor cover for the Cowboys to keep it within that 8.5 spread. I think early on, we might go to halftime. I'm not saying, again, we're going to get them booed at halftime on a banner night. By the way, Nick Sirianni, I know you're tuned in. Thanks for making the switch. Good to talk to you. It is banner night tonight. Just want to let you know in case you didn't know. I think that we might have the little uneasy feeling at halftime, and then the second half they open it up and they're able to put some distance between them and the Cowboys. Cowboys with a backdoor cover. 30-24 is your score in that one. And looking down at the old trusty FanDuel app for a potential, let's see if I could get you a little bit of a prop here that I like from tonight. Let's get down the list here. What could we go here? Ooh, alternate rushing yards. I see 100 plus for Saquon's even plus 100. Alternate rushing yards for Hurts, 50. I don't like that for plus money. Looking down some of the things here. They got so many different things you could do on the FanDuel app that I'm might have to put this one out on social media later with which way I'm going with this game. But I got the Birds winning. I have the Cowboys covering this one 30-24. Tomorrow we're talking about style points. We're talking about an offense that probably needed to get into that second half to get into rhythm, and that'll give us probably a week and a half worth of fodder leading into that Chiefs game. And a defense that at times in the first half you sweated, but were able to keep it under control. And this Cowboys team, if they truly want to try and out-physical this Eagles team, they're going to fail on that. If they try and run the football against this Eagles front, they're going to fail in that. They don't have necessarily the talent offensively on that offensive line and certainly in that running back room to do that. I will feel very good about the Eagles' chances if they go with that out-physical nature that Todd Archer covers the team for ESPN talked with us earlier about. Sean Rodman.
Yes.
Steve from Mount Holly was entered into our $50 Primo gift card group, correct? That was Stevie from
Yes.
Mount Holly was entered into our $50 Primo gift card group. So we played Remember 1995. Now we get the chance to award our $50 Primo gift card. Primo's got to say thanks to Primo Hoagies today for dropping off the trays for all of us here at Beasley Media, celebrating the home opener. Kick off the season right with Primo Hoagies today and every Thursday this football season from 4 to 8 p.m. All Primo Perks members get 10% off their order when they order on the Primo Hoagies app. See PrimoHoagies.com for full details. We have the $50 gift card. And who? Sean Rodman, who answered, what was it, like 3 of 7, I think, correct?
Yeah, we don't need to know the number.
I mean, listen, it's early. It's early in the season for everyone, but that was a tough showing for you. 3 of 7 correct for this one. Who of the correct answers will be our winner of the $50 gift card?
That is Adam from Lansdale.
Adam from Lansdale, congratulations to you. You are our victor in the Remember 1995 game we played today, in honor of the fact it's been 3 decades since the Cowboys won anything, and tonight they get to watch the Eagles celebrate what the Eagles won last season. I hope everyone has a tremendous time tonight watching the game. I hope that you'll check back in throughout the day here on The Fanatic. Keep listening on Filtered's Live, Chickies Pizza in South Philly. I'll be on there around 3 o'clock. I'm going to be on the pregame show tonight at 6. Full day of football for you still to come. Eagles, Cowboys tonight. I hope you enjoy it. Go Birds. I'm Ray Dunn, and I hope to talk to you again real soon right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic.